Coach, congratulations on a 49-15 victory against Southeast Lauderdale. The Tigers last Friday night, for the second straight week, your team was able to put up 40-plus points in a game. So go back and let's see what's your assessment of the way your offense is playing. We have one more week before district play begins, so I just would like to know, what is your assessment of the offense?
We're doing a real good job up front, making the blocks that we need. I've been very proud of the way that we've been able to perform up there, and that's been very much leading into our success the last 2 weeks as far as putting up points and yards. JJ's running the ball hard. Jackson seems to be making pretty good decisions out there, so I think the kids have all the credit there.
That's one of the statements you made prior to the season, even beginning, of how, even in practice, JJ running the ball hard, and he's displayed that, correct?
I feel like he has. I think he's had a really great start to the season. He's sitting there in the top 1 or 2 in the state in all categories as far as rushing, and just glad that kid's back healthy and able to do what we've all felt like he could, and wished he could have done a year ago.
Last week, that's a game. I'm talking about the wetness, the muddy, and all that kind of stuff. That's a game that, as players, I'm sure love to go out and participate in. But on the flip side of that, as far as coaches, I'm sure it feels like it's an even playing field for some out there, right?
Oh, I mean, like we talked about, that's the greatest equalizer there is. And, your cutting ability is not there as much. Your big playability is generally not going to be there. I'd like to see the game on a dry field. And, for the most part, I think the kids, there is an element of excitement to playing in an elements game, but I think all kids, not just here at West Lauderdale, anywhere else on planet Earth, I think if they get their ruthers, they enjoy the dry field.
Right, absolutely. We saw that many of your backups were able to play most of the second half. We've talked about this many times, Brock, but just how important is that playing time that a non-starter gets in games like that?
I mean, it's part of the development process. We use that analogy a lot, specifically talking to the team as far as, let's just look back, and I'm not picking on a kid or anything, but a couple of years ago, if you'd have told any of us coaches that Jeremiah Combs is going to be one of the top DBs in the district, we would all said, no, that's not possible. And his senior year, he ends up doing that, but that goes back to the fact that he had gone against Jason McKinney, he had gone against Dwayne Cox, he had gone against with Austin Davidson throwing passes. So, he got those quality reps all coming up in practice, and he consequently even in some ball games there. But, those reps are huge, and that's part of the developmental process. I think that's one of the things that have made us successful is the competition that we require our younger kids to come up going against.
Old Beatty. Well, you mentioned his name. Well, let's mention some of your backups, I guess, now. Getting a good look at many of your backups for that second half. How impressed were you with the play of those players, such as Caleb Collins, Hayes Nance, Rich Brown, offensive linemen, pretty much the entire offensive line backups during that second half?
They all responded really well. Ridge has been throwing the ball really well for us in JV games. Hayes Nance has just turned into a very hard-running young man and doing a great job there. Caleb, Caleb sees a good bit of action on most every Friday night. I think in the Neshoba game he was limited in some action just because of his size and the fronts that they were giving us wasn't very conducive for what we were trying to do in that particular ball game. But Caleb's been touching the football 6, 8, 10 times a night for the last couple of weeks, and looking for some big things out of him, hopefully, as we get into district play.
Once again, we've got a great Southern Maine Coaches show this week, another road trip. This time it's a few miles north of us to the 2-2 Philadelphia Tornadoes. This is the team, sadly, I have to say, always has had West Lauderdale's number. The Knights have never beaten the Tornadoes. What have you been able to see against David Fry's team?
Oh, they've got lots of speed, tons of speed out there. Their offensive line is just really massive. One of the bigger offensive lines we'll probably play this year, and the skill guys can just absolutely go. Extremely fast, with a really big line. They've played some much larger schools the last couple weeks. They got a COVID issue. They didn't get COVID. They lost the ball game due to COVID and ended up pulling Meridian a couple weeks back, and then I think they ended up with Winona last week. So Winona's got a back that's one of the top in the state and rushing for lots of yards every Friday night. So hopefully we'll be able to mimic that somewhat.
When a team faces an historic program like the Meridians, and I can even go ahead and say, just looking at their history, Philadelphia Tornadoes, they got 17 district titles, 3 state championships. I don't know how many, it's like 70 plus winning seasons out of 100. So, I mean, when you say things like that, and I don't know how many kids look at that type of stuff, but I know as far as you and I just, having history here, it's does it get in your mind a little bit that this And welcome to Philadelphia, Mississippi. I believe the name is Harpo Stadium.
Yeah, we've had a little bit of a discussion as to whether it's Harpo or Harpo, but I think we've landed on Harpo Stadium tonight out here in Philadelphia for the West Lauderdale Knights taking on the Philadelphia Tornadoes. Week 5, I believe.
Man, the season is after tonight's halfway gone. Absolutely,
man. It feels like it's flying by. I'm enjoying my first year behind the microphone. I don't know about you having me here.
My first year behind the microphone was a long time ago.
Yeah, well, we forget you're old.
West Lauderdale coming into 3-1 on the season after their big victory against Southeast Lauderdale last week, 49-15. Philadelphia drops to 2-2 after their loss last week to Winona. Winona's got one of the best, or one of the top, if not the top running back in the state of Mississippi, 57-14. And we're going to show them another good running back tonight in the form of J.J. Grant. So whatever they were able to do, Winona was able to run against Philadelphia's defense last week. Hopefully West Lauderdale will be able to do the same thing tonight. They put up nearly 450 yards on the ground alone last week, Winona did. But, of course, it helps when you have one of the top running backs in the state. But once again, David Fry coming in his third year, 18-9 record. Started mid-season back in 2018 and even got the first district championship for Fry back then in 2018 as well. So looking forward to a great game. You know, Philadelphia, I was telling you just a few moments ago how Philadelphia always reminded me of West Lauderdale back in the day, of the red helmet and the the red pants and the black jersey, because it was almost a mirror image of West Lauderdale. We hardly ever played. We've only played 11 times, and bad news, West Lauderdale's never won during those 11 times, but we rarely play, being that the schools are just a few miles apart.
Yeah, and you kind of hit the nail on the head there when you looked at the previous 10, 11 games between Philadelphia and West Lauderdale, and truth be told, on paper, West Lauderdale is coming in with what appears to be a slightly more talented team, but you know as well as I do, having played the game, man, the game, it happens on the field. It doesn't happen on paper, and you cannot help, as a player and as a coach, you cannot help but at least entertain the thought, man, we've never beaten these guys,
right.
ever in the span of both teams' traditional powerhouse football programs. We are 0-for. West Lauderdale is 0-for against Philadelphia, and every coach, every player that I've spoken with is excited for the potential of getting that first W, but at the same time, they understand that it's not going to come easily.
I mean, that's got to be – it could either do one of two things. It could drive you to play your very best. I've got a speaker right next to me that's really interrupting me, but or it could intimidate you. I mean, you think about it. You've never beaten a team. Oh, here we go again. But luckily, we haven't played since 2000. Well, we played back in 2019, but we were supposed to play, I believe, last year. But due to COVID, we didn't get started until toward the next couple weeks into the season. But 2012, we were here in Philadelphia. 2011, I believe, we played at home. Let's see, 2004. Then you have to go all the way back to 2004, 2003, 2002, 2001, and then even before that, back in the mid to late 80s. So we play them in spurts. But anyway, tonight, hopefully the Knights can get one in their belt in that win column. There have been some close ball games. We'll go over some of those ball games a little bit, and we'll also go over the starters as well in just a few short minutes. So we're going to take a quick break. Battery One Source pregame show continues. Of course, Battery One Source, you can go by and see the do-fors at Battery One Source for automotive, commercial, and special application battery specialists. You can also take your mobile phone and tablet there if you need it repaired. 2618 North Frontage Road, back in Meridian. This is in Philadelphia. This was the Philadelphia Tornadoes and the West Lauderdale Knights about to go head-to-head in just a few short minutes as we continue the pregame show. And the FCA Pep Talk is next on Q101.
For over 20 years, Premier Paint and Body has served our area with the best in auto body work and quality paint jobs. The hard work
Paxton George at left tackle. Number 67, C.J. Watson at left guard. Center, number 54, Lane Williams. Right guard is number 59, Nick Walton. Right tackle, number 55, Logan Johnson. Tight end is number 44, Gunnar Knapp. H-back is number 27, Hunter Moore. I believe that's one of our captains tonight as well. Wide receiver is number 1, Brett Busby, and number 22, Cooper Luke. Running back is number 2, J.J. Grant. Speaking of J.J. Grant, surpassed 800 yards last week in last week's game. 806 yards on the season. So he is just a little bit less than 200 yards away, and he could get that tonight. Actually, he could get that tonight the way he's been playing to get to that 1,000 yards only halfway through the season. And, of course, led up by number 5, Jackson Parker, junior quarterback for the West Lauderdale Knights. Defensively for the Knights, we've got Mon Cole, Eli Bates, Chris Griffith manning that huge defensive line. Linebackers for the Knights, number 8, Jordan Gowdy, Carson Smith, Dylan Williamson, and Dalton Bishop in the middle of the field for the Knights. And back in the deep backfield, for the Knights, Jordan Nix, Brandon Epting, Dylan Brown, and Jet Calvert. Those are your starters for the West Lauderdale Knights. I believe we got some information for the coin toss. Captains at midfield, number 51 and number 7 for the Philadelphia Tornadoes. Those being number 51 is Ja'Carri Clemens, and number 7, Jadarius Stevens.
Your captains, I got those right here for you. The Knights are going to be number 27, Hunter Moore. Number 1, Brett Busby. Number 7, Wyatt Castle. And number 17, Brandon Epting.
How did that coin toss go down?
I think it went down well, honestly.
Await the respective teams to enter the field after the coin toss. We're going to take a quick 30-second break and be right back with the kickoff. Once again, the pregame show being brought to you by Battery One Source here on Q101.
Buying your first home.
You missed the most important part.
I was down.
Lender, MLO, 939.
Can y'all hear it? Bringing y'all back. You can't hear it.
The lights with the Knights are here on Q101.
Philadelphia Tornadoes, West Lauderdale Knights, just seconds away as the West Lauderdale Knights have made their way to their respective sideline. Philadelphia Tornadoes just now making their exit of the locker room area. Clint, we are almost halfway through the football season. It's just flying by. I don't know why it does. I guess that proves the theory when you're having fun. Time flies when you're having fun. But just it felt like last week we just got this thing underway.
Absolutely, man. It feels like just a few weeks ago, last week maybe, we were standing up here for week 1. And now you're right. This is week 5. This is halfway through the season.
Once again, we are in the stands. We're actually on top of the stands. And so it's going to be loud. We're going to take a pause break here for the prayer and national anthem.
And thank you for Friday night football on the field and everyone in the stand. Help us all to honor you in all that we do. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
And thank you very much to the Philadelphia Tornado Band for providing the national anthem here on Q101. Pre-game show about to conclude. Once again, being brought to you by Battery One Source in Meridian. You ready, Clint?
I believe so.
I know you're trying to get me to turn something up for you. There we go.
Yeah, I couldn't quite hear you coming through my headset, but I think I got you now. All right, so the Philadelphia Tornadoes getting ready to take the field, bust through the sign here in just a moment, and as soon as that happens, we're going to hopefully be ready for a little kickoff, ready for some Friday night football. And here come the Tornadoes of Philadelphia. As Lee has already told you, the Knights have been waiting patiently on their sideline, waiting to get this game started. So we will go ahead and give you a heads up, and I know Lee's made a couple of references to it. If there appears to be a lot of background noise, we are positioned really close to a speaker.
We're about 8 feet away from a very, very loud speaker.
Like just to kind of put it in terms you can understand, Lee, I'm pretty sure I can make a putt from this distance, how far we are from the speaker. So you know it's not very
punt,
far.
Not a punt.
Well, either or.
Okay.
But, yeah, I said putt.
Well, this is a game I'm sure that, I don't even know how many of the kids knew this whenever it was mentioned to them yesterday. It was actually mentioned to them yesterday that West Lauderdale had never beaten Philadelphia, and a lot of their eyes lit up like, well, they're going to tomorrow. And that's confidence. Yeah, that may come across as maybe cocky, but you got to have confidence.
You got to have a little swagger out here. You've got to play with confidence, or you're going to play to get beat, you're going to play to get hurt. As it stands, again, not sure who won the toss, but I do know that Philadelphia is going to be receiving the opening kickoff, moving my left to right, or your left to right as you steer at your radio. The West Lauderdale Knights are going to be kicking the ball off from their own 40-yard line.
2019, the Knights lost 29-21. 2012, the Knights lost 14-0. These are some pretty close ball games.
Yeah,
17-15 back in 11, 14-10. And I even remember this back when Coach McCain was here. I went up to him in 2004 in their route to go into the state championship that year. I was like, "What's up with Philadelphia? Why do we have such an issue with Philadelphia?" He's like, "I don't know. You just got to know Stan McCain." Here's the kickoff coming down to the 32, 33-yard line, and he has stopped right there. Makes a little bit of a progress up to about the 35-yard line.
A little bit surprised it wasn't a fair catch. That was
right.
Yeah, we'll call that a pooch kick. I wasn't real sure it carried a little more distance than normal, but as soon as he caught the ball, the Knights were there on top of him. But no, there was no unfair catch, and I think he advanced the ball maybe a yard after he caught the ball.
Looking out at quarterback Marcus Beeman, I was able to watch some tape on Max Preps, and I would be surprised, knowing what Meridian was able to do against us and go deep, I would be surprised that I would if they didn't try to do the same thing. They are able to air it out here at Philadelphia. Be on the lookout for Andrew Carter, tight end for the Philadelphia Tornadoes. Yeah, do hand it off, though. Number 23 gets the handoff. He has got some running room quite a bit, actually, up to the 48, 49-yard line before being stopped by the West Lauderdale Knights. That was a big hole off to that left-hand side.
It was a big hole that got him through the line, and they saw a couple of evasive moves, some pretty solid cuts that he was able to make a couple of men miss. But you're right, they're going to have it 1st and 10 at their own 48-yard line. So one play about 13 yards, 14 yards.
Chancellor Greer, the running back there with the run. Once again, Marcus Beeman was able to see him air it out quite often in the game against Meridian. And they'll do another handoff. Number 23 will get the carry. Only a 2-yard pickup this time. Chancellor Greer, 2-yard pickup to midfield, so 2nd down and 8.
It appeared a same play just to the opposite side. They try to run it to their right side, running toward us. Excellent job of the defensive end on our side for the Knights, able to contain him, force him back inside, and a minimal gain of what appears to be only about 2 yards. So 2nd and 8 for the for the Tornadoes, right on the 50-yard line.
One receiver to the left, one to the right for Marcus Beeman. We're running back to his right as well.
It looked like the center was a little slow on the snap. They are running a 2 tight end set. So you've got 7 men on the offensive line right now, and 6 of them went. One of them, obviously being the center, decided to hold on to the ball by about a second too long, and that bumps them up to make it 2nd down and 13 from their own 45-yard line.
Got a massive offensive line, especially on that left-hand side. But then that's really where they got the big yardage out of that first play from the get-go. Once again, Marcus Beeman, 2nd down, 13, as Clint just said. Looking to pass, looks left. rolls left, and is being
He's in
pushed in the
trouble.
pocket, and he goes down.
That
is that going to be grounding?
It's got to be intentional grounding.
No flag yet.
2023.
Running
Your
back.
running back, Chancellor Greer, he was right there. So that has to be the reason why there was no flag on that.
Jordan
He was
Gowdy
close.
one is in his face, and as well as number 14. I believe that was number 14 in his face as well, Carson Smith. Jordan Gowdy is I'm just amazed at the stature of this kid. I remember when he came in as a freshman, I was like, that kid's a freshman? No way. And now just seeing the way he plays, and still a junior.
Absolutely. Both of our defensive ends on that play did a great job of getting around the tackles.
Same formation for the Tornadoes. 3rd down and 13 as the quarterback rolls out to his right. Still looking, throws deep, got a receiver, overshoots his intended receiver. Number 17 is Trey Posey.
So we're going to be the Tornadoes will be looking at 4th down and 13 from their own 45-yard line. So after that one play, the first play picked up solid yardage, I believe about 14 yards. After that, held to negative. The second play picked up 2. Then you had the false start, and they're going to end up punting the ball away.
Starting quarterback is our return man for the punt return team, is Jackson Parker. He'll be standing at his own 25-yard line.
Punter for Philadelphia is going to be number 3, Patrick Miller.
Here is the punt. Nice end-over-end punt. Jackson Parker with the reception at the 26-yard line. So the Knights will start out at their own 26 after giving up a total of about 15 yards.
Yeah, absolutely. Solid
Well,
start.
I'm sorry. Got to count.
Yeah. Took it backwards, so about 10 to 12 yards, I believe. But anyway, so yeah, the defense doing their job. Not quite fortunate at 3. I would say a 4 and out. Getting the ball into the hands of our offense, and excited to see what they're going to do on their opening drive.
We're going to start out, break huddle on the sideline, have 2 receivers to that right-hand side. Those 2 receivers are Cooper Luke in the slot. Wide right is Brett Busby, Jackson Parker, and early flag.
They calling a false start, it looks like.
Yeah, it's going to be against the
Tornadoes. Someone must have lined up in the neutral zone, maybe made contact even for them blowing it dead. Yep. Encroachment on the defense, so they'll be West Lauderdale will be starting 1st and 5 from the 31-yard line.
Once again, J.J. Grant coming into this ball game, 806 yards, and the way he's playing, he could very well surpass 1,000 yards tonight. First pass from the game, and Cooper Luke with the reception for a 4-yard pickup, and that'll bring up 2nd down and 1. I said 9 because I was looking at the sticks.
Absolutely.
It's up to the 35-yard line, enough for 4 yards.
Encroachment got you. But, yeah, it's going to be 2nd down and 1 from the 35-yard line.
Hand off to J.J. Grant, goes to that right side. J.J. up to the 40. Definitely enough for a 1st down, a gain of 5 yards.
Actually, they're going to mark him down about the 42, so they're going to give him credit for 7-yard gain on that.
J.J. Grant takes the handoff and moves forward for enough yards for a 1st down. Now Burnside.
Ball is marked just on the outside of the 41-yard line. They'll move those 2 receivers to the opposite side, to this near side, moving right to left. Jackson rolls left, left-handed quarterback throws left, and Cooper Luke makes an outstanding grab at the 48-yard line of Philadelphia. That was sliding into the third base as well as making the catch, right?
Everything about that play was good. The offensive line gave him all the time he needed. Grant was over there picking up a couple of blockers. And man, you're right. The catch was incredible. He was the only one who could have gotten to the ball. Parker did what he had to do to put the ball where only his guy could get it.
Just a sophomore. He'll line up wide right. Brett Busby lines up wide left. That doesn't matter, though. J.J. Grant's got the football, and he's running with it. 35-yard line to the 30, to the 25, inside the 20. 19-yard line. J.J. Grant takes off to the races.
There was a defensive back that had him dead to rights, had him square it up. It almost looked like a video game move. he took 1 step to the left at the exact moment he needed to. Great juke move.
Was that X or Z?
We're going to go with L2.
Okay.
I have no idea. I haven't played since, I don't know, Nintendo 64 maybe?
Oh, you're showing your age there. They actually mark him down at the 20. Jackson Parker will hand it back to J.J. Grant. Comes to this near side, cuts one, makes one guy miss, makes another guy miss, and down to the 12-yard line.
I feel like we're saying the same thing every week, Lee. He's going to make the first 3 guys miss, it seems like. Mm-hmm. If you're not going to gang tackle him, you're going to have a hard time taking him down one-on-one. And we've seen that. He's carried the ball, 4 times, I believe, so far this drive, and every time has been able to evade the first couple of guys.
I mean, he is a guy that is coming into his own in his senior season. Jackson Parker rolls out to his right, got Cooper Luke in the end zone, or is that Cooper Luke or is that Wyatt Castle?
That's Cooper Luke.
Cooper Luke, touchdown West Lauderdale on a 12-yard touchdown pass from Jackson Parker.
All right, I'm going to be honest with you right now. I was about to say, what in the world is he doing? He had an open guy about 4.
Looking to go for 2, and he does. That is number 44, but they're saying flag. I don't know if they were set. I'm not sure they were set, so they would have to mark that off. And this Knapp, who's standing about 6'4", one-on-one. I'll take my chances with Gunner
Absolutely,
Knapp.
but what they ended up calling was an illegal shift, so we had guys that weren't quite set, still moving when the ball.
One-on-one with him.
Line up in a more traditional extra point form.
Jackson Parker, your holder. Hold us down. Kick is up from Cooper and is good. Knight score first with 8:18 left here in the Paint Body scoreboard on Q101.
The score, Knights
40
7,
years
Tornadoes
Battery One Source is
0.
your source for auto.
What is the most ideal way that you could draw at the beginning of this game? You got to think it would have been a quick out, 3 and out, 4 and out. They did pick up one extra play before the defense forced the Tornadoes to punt the ball away. And then I'm not going to say an easy drive, but man, they did not have a whole lot of trouble driving that ball down the field. Threw the ball, ran the ball consistently, always positive yardage.
Other than the flag on the not getting set on the extra point attempt, which was a pass from Jackson Parker to Gunner Knapp.
Absolutely.
That's the only.
Yeah, I mean, if you
flag
got
on
to
that.
find a negative, that'd be it. But man, that was a good drive by our offense to start the game.
Cooper Luke putting total leather. This time deep kick. Going to drive his return man to the 5-yard line. He's up to the 10, to the 15, comes to this near side, to the 20, to the 25. He's got some running room. 30, 35, down at the 40-yard line, 41-yard line.
Able to pick up a seam in about the middle of that. You can't run a true wedge anymore, but in the middle of that, the Gunners making their line down for the Knights. He's able to find a seam and pick up pretty good yardage. Like Lee said, he picked the ball up about the 5-yard line, so about a 35, 36-yard return to take over at their own 41-yard line.
I say don't kick it to him again.
Yeah.
So the Tornadoes initially looked to have a 4-receiver set, 2 on the left, 2 on the right. Philadelphia coming in black helmets, black jerseys, and gray pants. West Lauderdale, black helmets, white jerseys, and gray pants. Sending a wide out in motion. Handoff, though, to number 23, and gets hit after a 1-yard pickup. Number 6, Jordan Nix, with the tackle there.
Yeah, he made contact with him, and he did not stop driving his feet. Awesome form tackle. Had his head up, saw where he was going the whole way. Again, picture-perfect tackle on that. So that's going to bring up 2nd and 9 for the Tornadoes on their own 42-yard line.
Chancellor Greer, once again, the running back, going to be set up to the quarterback, Marcus Beeman's right. To right. Looking to throw right. Moves, makes the connection. And there at the 45-yard line, number 2 is Darius Grady.
Darius Grady with the reception. It's going to be a gain of about 3 yards. Going to put it right on their own 45-yard line. 45 and a half, I guess. Make it 3rd and long 4. Long 5.
Philadelphia, the entire.
Still in that 4-wide set.
Beeman looks over the defensive front, waiting the snap. There it is. He's looking right, and will take it himself. Comes to this near side. He's got a hole and run through big time. He's got nobody there, but that hole closes, and photographer takes the brunt end of the stick here against.
We had a very late flag here. I thought he had blocked him in the back.
Okay.
But the referee closest to him did not make the call, so I thought maybe it wasn't egregious enough to get the call.
Maybe he was not able to get it out of his back pocket.
Maybe so. But we're waiting on the white hat to give the signal. We'll see if I was able to spot this one or not. Lee made a reference that the photographer on the sideline of Philadelphia got hit, but good to see her up, camera in hand, ready to go. And that's exactly what the call is, a block in the back by the Tornadoes. So that's going to back them up.
Well, the flag on their initial drive, the false start on their initial drive, hurt them pretty heavily. Now it brings up third down, and what looked to be a first down for the Tornadoes in Knight's territory turns into a 3rd and 9.
Much like a holding call, that's going to the block in the back. You mark the yardage off from the spot of the foul. So rather than being a first down on the Knight side of the ball, you're going to have 3rd and 9 for the Tornadoes on their own 42-yard line. Same
Formation as Beeman is in the shotgun with a back to his right. That is Chancellor Greer.
10 seconds left on the play clock as they are waiting to get a call in right now from their coach.
They may take a timeout.
They're going to have to take a timeout. We're down to 3 seconds. So that's what we have. We have timeout by the Tornadoes with 6 minutes and 27 seconds left in the first quarter.
All right, Premier Paint and Body scoreboard shows 7-0. We'll take a quick break, come right back here on.
Back at here in Philadelphia. I was about to give the name of the stadium, but honestly I've been having a hard time remembering all night. Anyway, so we Tornadoes were forced to take their first time out of the half with 6:27 left to go in the first quarter, down by 7. Had a little bit of a drive going, but was called back on a block in the back. So they're looking at a 3rd and 9. Your Knights are doing they're doing what they have to do on defense.
You might want to ask, you may be asking how they get up to the 40-yard line then. They had an outstanding run back from the kickoff return just a few moments ago.
Yeah, a 36-yard return, and so far they've netted 1 yard on offense on this drive after that.
All right, quarterback Marcus Beeman backpedals, looking to pass. Got a receiver number 2, makes the connection. It's going to be near first down, and I do believe it's got enough for a first down.
I wasn't really sure he was going to get there. He was running east to west, not running north and south, and was running right on that yard to gain, but did manage to get it by 1 yard. So that's going to be first down.
I think that's what the quarterback, Marcus Beeman, is telling him right now. He did. He made a motion to him, go upfield. You've got to do that. You cannot take that chance. You were so close to be able to break it and probably get another 10 yards, but he decided to go east and west, like you said, and just get enough.
I don't know if you noticed on that play, the Knights blitz. Both of their safeties about had him, but because of the blitz, there's a little bit of an open spot on the field.
Quarterback hands it off to Chancellor Greer, goes off to that far side, gets tripped up there at the line of scrimmage. Who is that? That is Dylan Brown, I believe. Comes in with a yard loss. Wow, good job, Dylan Brown.
All right, so we got stoppage on the field by the referees. Going to have a heat timeout here with 5 minutes and 42 seconds left in the first quarter.
We're going to stay in the game here. Once again, the Knights 7-0. So we look at the Premier Paint and Body scoreboard, but this is a high-powered offense for the Philadelphia Tornadoes. I was able to watch a little bit of the tape from them in Meridian High. I'm kind of, like I said, I'm kind of surprised that they haven't went over the top. Maybe they are. Maybe they will a little bit later, but when Meridian was able to do that to us, they were able to do that against other teams leading up to this. You would think that they would try to exploit that again.
Well, and we haven't seen him throw the deep ball, but we have seen success from Philadelphia throwing the ball in general. I think he may have gone 0 for 1 on that first drive, but he's had a couple of solid completions, one of them negated by the block in the back, right, and the one we just saw, move the sticks.
West Lauderdale once again leads. Their first drive was, you couldn't have asked anything better, like Clint made reference to a few moments ago. Everything perfect drive.
Yeah, you had one blemish on the extra point. You had a illegal motion, but didn't negate us from getting the extra point on the next play. So, yeah, that first offensive drive for the Knights was, again, couldn't have asked for a better drive. But right now it looks like we are ready to get back in play. The Tornadoes lined up on the ball. They're going to be receiver wide on each direction. with a double tight end set and one running back beside the quarterback.
Marcus Beeman, quarterback, trying to get the Knights to jump. Did he? No. They'll hold the ground. He'll look to pass left, and then he makes the connection. There'll be a tackle made at the 42-yard line.
That was just a quick slant by your wide out on the left side, on the far side from us.
It'll be a third down.
Good defense. I mean, he had the inside position, so he was able to make the catch, but he was covered the entire way by the defensive back for the Knights. So give him credit on that. That was just a good throw, good catch, good coverage.
Key play for this drive. 42-yard line is where the Philadelphia Tornadoes are on the Knights side of the 50. Beeman looks over the defense, takes the ball himself, comes to this near side, gets the first down and more. He's still on his feet to the 30, 25, 20. And did he step out? Yes.
He steps out on the 21-yard line. The 16-yard line.
Takes the ball all the way down to the 10-yard line.
Very talented quarterback is what we've been able to see in this first quarter. It's 4:41 remaining in the first quarter, 7-0 in favor of the Knights. But the Tornadoes are moving into deeper into Knight territory inside the red zone, 16-yard line.
Yeah, he was able to move the ball very efficient on that. Was able to cut it in whenever the end collapsed. Was able to pick up, I guess, about 30 yardage after first contact.
Beeman will hand it off to Chancellor Greer. Greer goes to that far side and is tackled inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. Gain of 2.
So that's going to be second down and 8 on the 14-yard line. Finding a little bit of success moving the ball this drive, a lot more than they did the first time around.
Have a wide out, wide right, and then another wide left. Handoff once again to Chancellor Greer. Goes to that far side again.
It's going to be about another 2-yard gain. It's going to bring up 3rd and 6 from their, 11-yard line? 12 maybe?
About 11, I believe. So 3rd down and 5. They do like running behind number 65 from what I've gathered here. I can see why.
Yeah, that is a lot of football player wearing number 65 right there. We don't have his height and weight per se, but he's a big man right there.
Cleveland McAfee is his name.
Sounds like a football player.
Yes. 3rd down, 5 to go for the Tornadoes on the 11-yard line of the Knights. Low snap, quarterback digs it out. He's going to come to this near side looking for a lane. He finds one. Does he get a first down? He's
I
going to be
think
close
they're going
to
to mark him short. I think they're going to have him right around the 7-yard line, and he needed to get to the 6. So, yeah, they got him now marked 4th and 1.
This drive, they've not had really anything except for one play that was made in the backfield. So what do you do if you're if you're David Fry?
I mean, you've got to go back. The quarterback has done a great job. Beeman's done a great job of recognizing on that zone read whether to put the ball in the someone give his run back or keep it himself. And you got to think that's what they could do again.
4th and 1. Marcus Beeman, the quarterback, hands it off to Chancellor Greer, and he will get what is needed and maybe a half yard more up to just on the outside of the 5-yard line.
You gotta, had him wrapped up in the backfield, had it read well, but he was able to break through that first tackler and pick up about a yard more than needed. It's going to be 1st and goal from the 5-yard line of the Knights.
Line up 2 receivers to the left. Marcus Beeman will ask Chancellor to set up to his left as well. And Marcus will take it himself, goes to that far side, and he is going to be, did he get in there?
I think they stopped him shy, it looks like. Yeah, they're going to mark him just short. I mean, we're talking inside the 1-yard line.
This has been an outstanding drive for the Philadelphia Tornadoes. Once again, where the kickoff return began on the 5-yard line, it was able to make a 36-yard return. And now the Philadelphia Tornadoes are 1 yard shy from making this a tie ball game. And Chancellor Greer does not get in.
He's going to lose about a yard on that. He went from being inside the 1 to just on the outside of the 1. So lost maybe about half yard on that. But that's really the first time this drive that they've been able to not necessarily get penetration in the backfield, but bring him down in the backfield.
So 3rd down and goal from the 1.
You got to look out for him keeping the ball on, a little misdirection.
And Marcus Beeman Gives it to Chancellor Greer, and it is a touchdown. Comes to this near side.
There was nothing pretty about that. He just lined it up, dove it right behind the tackle on the right side, and said, if you can stop it, stop it.
So
He didn't get deep in the end zone, but he crossed the plane, though.
Philadelphia Tornadoes 1 point away from tying it up on a 1-yard touchdown run from number 23, Chancellor Greer. And Marcus Beeman, of course, Marcus did show his arm a little bit during that drive, but definitely talented on the ground.
Absolutely, and that's where a bulk of it came as well.
Snap, hold, kick is up, and
Off
it's
the
no
left
good.
upright, no good.
So the Knights will hold a 1-point advantage in this game with 1:25 remaining in the first quarter. We'll be back after this on Q101.
Off on the upright.
Welcome back once again after a 1-yard touchdown run from Chancellor Greer, running back for the Philadelphia Tornadoes. The Knights 7, Philadelphia 6 after the kick went wide left. Well, actually, it hit the upright.
Absolutely, hit it square, bounced right back into the field of play.
We are in the stands, actually on top of the press box, and that's why you're hearing so much ruckus.
Again, way closer to this speaker than I want to be. So you're the Tornadoes of Philadelphia kicking the ball off left and right as you look at your radio. We got
That's number 54 doing the kicking duties, Contarius Everson. Back deep for the Knights is J.J. Grant. Will not get to him, though. It's Dylan Williamson, I believe, with the return.
Yeah, he I think fielded that just inside of his own 30-yard line, somewhere around the 28, 29. And decent return. Got it back up to what? The 39-yard line.
39-yard
yeah,
line.
38, I believe. So about a 10-yard return on a really short kickoff.
Outstanding linebacker for the Knights right there, Dylan Williamson.
So solid starting position, field position here for the Knights as they get ready to start on their own 38-yard line.
1:19 remains here in the first quarter of play. Busby going in motion. Oh, that's Wyatt Castle, I'm sorry. And Wyatt comes to this near side to the 45 to midfield, tackled on the Philadelphia side of the 50 to the 48, I believe.
You notice him limping a little bit as he comes up.
He's had a leg issue pretty much the entire season, so he may make his exit here. Cooper Luke will check in. I believe he's going to check out. Yeah, it was kind of an awkward tackle there.
It was. He came in a little bit weird on what appeared to be maybe his right leg. But you're right, he is going to check out of the game.
They may get the Knights on this. Going to be a penalty on the Knights as they were not set, and Wyatt was not even on the field.
I was going to say, I was watching Wyatt run off the field, and you're right, he was still probably 5, 6, 7 yards on the field. They didn't give him time to run off.
So that's going to be coming back to the 47-yard line of the Knights.
So, yeah, false start by the Knights. So backing them up, it's going to make it first down and 15.
And this defense likes to blitz, so be on the lookout for them to blitz here. Going to be a handoff to J.J. Grant. J.J. comes back to the original line of scrimmage. Maybe an extra yard there as well.
J.J. Grant runs into Talmer Burnside.
Well, and what we saw the first drive, and I noticed this, you're right, Philadelphia, they will blitz fairly often. And if you have a strong running game, if you're able to get past that initial blitz, there's no one behind
Parker looking to pass. Got Brett Busby with the reception. He's going to bring up third down, but third down about 3 for the Knights. It's going to be down at the 41-yard line of the Tornadoes.
Yeah, what we have here, and again, I'm not going to try to speculate. Hopefully it doesn't come to this, but I believe because of that reception, if I had to guess, we've already put ourselves into 4-down territory here.
Oh, yeah. 2 receivers to the right. Parker hands it off to Grant. Grant comes to the 40. He's got a first down, 35. Near the 30. Look at him pushing his legs.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 8 black jerseys, 8 Philadelphia Tornadoes it took to take that man down.
That's the run they were describing, and we've seen it before, but that's the run they were describing at the beginning of the season, before the season even began, how angry he was running. Angry runs is what they were describing yet. Caleb Collins checks in the game. He'll get the handoff. He goes to that far side. Caleb Collins to the 15, to the 12-yard line.
And I believe they took him down by the face mask. I think that's what they're going to end up calling here.
That's correct. It'll be half the distance of the goal, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. You're inside the 15, so there's no way you can mark off the true 15. But we're waiting on the referee to give the signal, but it certainly looked like it.
Again on the tackle.
As soon as we get it, we'll give it to you. All right, referee coming out to give the signal.
Yeah, it's going to be
personal foul, face mask. Man, I feel like I'm on the ball right now.
The penalty is against the Tornadoes.
Surprised you could see it. I mean, anytime we come to Philadelphia, you notice the dim side of the field over there, dim side of the field over in to our right as well. And we're all the way up in the press box, or on top of the press box, so it is definitely harder to see. Jackson Parker with the quarterback keeper. He gets inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. Yeah, so it'll be second down and goal from the 4.
We started with first and goal from about the 6.5-yard line, so he picked up maybe 2.5, something like that. Going to take it down. I think you're right. They've got it marked on the 4, but
that's the end of the first quarter. Yep. 12 minutes in the books. Knights lead 7-6. And threatening here inside the 5-yard line. We'll be back with the second quarter as we look at the Premier Paint and Body scoreboard on Q101.
Congratulations, Chancellor, and thank you, Maddie, for your
with the best in auto body work and quality paint.
Lauderdale football on Q101.
Second quarter is just moments away as we are once again 7-6, 1-point ball game, but the Knights are 4 yards away from changing that.
The Knights have had very, very little trouble moving the ball for the first quarter. They've had one full drive and about to complete a second one. And you're right, every play has been positive yardage. You know, not trying to jinx it or whatever, but we have not been stopped in the backfield yet. And they are lining up in very much a goal line power formation. I'm not seeing anyone spread wide.
There looks to be some confusion on the defensive side of the ball for the Tornadoes, and they may want to take a timeout here as they are still confused on what's going to happen. Parker going to be a handoff to J.J. Grant, goes that far side. That looks to be another
horse collar.
That was definitely a face mask there. Maybe a horse collar as well around the 5-yard line. So
I don't know if you noticed, we saw flags flying in from the other side of the field on that.
Flag on the play.
Did they mark
him down short?
Oh yeah, he was down short, but that's going to be half the distance to go and mark
automatic first down there.
I would believe.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that one. I wasn't real sure. It almost looked like he had the face mask and the back of the collar at the same time.
And you know the way he was running, there was 2 or 3 Tornadoes on J.J. Grant. It had to take that to get him down because he was still going to that goal line.
Mm-hmm. But that play was for the Tornadoes. That one was kind of doomed from the beginning. You know, you were talking about a lot of confusion taking place on the defensive side of the ball. I don't know that they had anyone out there to make a tackle the way that needed to happen. And there was a call by the referee. It is a personal foul, face mask against.
Oh, he did make the touchdown.
I knew that he had gotten in close.
And it will be on the kickoff. It will be taken on the kickoff. The yardage will be. Wow. So J.J. Grant, a 4-yard touchdown run by J.J. with a face mask.
So, yeah, we'll be the Knights will be able to kick off.
They're going to go for 2 here. They're going to go for 2. Jackson Parker rolling out to his left, throws left, and he's got a receiver. Did he get in? He's going to be
He caught the ball, but I think he went down with the ball about the half-yard line.
Intended receiver was Hunter Moore. So the score stays a 7-point ball game, 13-6 in favor of the Knights with 11:51 remaining in the first half. As we look at the Premier Paint and Body scoreboard, we'll be back after 30 seconds on Q101.
Time to get back to game day and grilling, but you have to tackle projects
The Knights lead 13-6 over Philadelphia Tornadoes. Knights have got a 12-yard touchdown pass from Jackson Parker to Cooper Luke, and a 4-yard touchdown run by J.J. Grant. And we will actually have a penalty marked off on this.
Because of the face mask that took place on the touchdown run, they're able to mark off the 15 yards. Normally you kick the ball off from your own 40, but as it stands, the Knights are going to be able to kick off from Philadelphia 45-yard line.
So Clint, as we've got this speaker next to us and it's booming pretty hard, you got any techno dance moves as we're listening to this?
None that you'd be able to handle.
Okay, I got you.
See, right now, not really sure what the right answer is. You have the option to kick the ball deep and pin them after a touchback. You also have the option to go for an onside kick here.
But you kicked deep just a few moments ago, and the kid ran it back for 36 yards. So
yeah, but after
tough answer here.
Remember, he called it on the 5.
Here it is.
They are going to go for the onside kick, and it is on the ground.
Dylan Brown has a chance to get it, but it bounces back, and the Tornadoes was able to recover it. C.J. Rush was able to corral that.
Could not have. Man, that was a great onside kick. Low line drive, bounced off the knee.
Look who they kicked toward. The kid with the cast.
I mean, not saying that was intentional. We're just going to say that was fluke.
33-yard line is where the Tornadoes will set up shop.
But because of that penalty, you're able to go for an onside kick. Even if you don't recover it, they still have worse starting field position than they did the last drive whenever you kicked it deep.
2 receivers each side of the field for Marcus Beeman, quarterback. Marcus will hand it off to – no, he'll keep it himself, and he's got a wide lane to run through and gets a first down plus more.
They're going to mark him down just outside the 45-yard line.
So it's a dual
Actually,
threat.
yeah, right on the 45. I think everybody, including you and I, bid on that fake.
First down, Philadelphia.
But again, that zone read where the quarterback has the option of either putting the ball in the running back's belly and letting him take it, or pulling it out and keeping it himself. He's been doing that very successful all night.
And defensively, I mean, you're going to have to start keeping one eye on that quarterback.
We have not really, the last drive and the very beginning of this one, had a hard time finding an answer for that.
Same formation for Beeman. Beeman looks over the field. Guy throws right. Got him his man, number 17. That is Trey Posey. Connection is made for about a 4-yard pickup. So 2nd down and 6 to go here.
So on that play, the Knights had 5 down linemen. They had an extra down lineman there to try to protect against the quarterback, keeping it on the end. And because of that, you had one less man in coverage. And Beeman was able to find the open man there.
Perfect play call for the Philadelphia Tornadoes. 2nd down, 6 to go. They'll keep the same formation. And moves Chancellor Greer to the opposing side, to the right-hand side of Marcus Beeman. Beeman in shotgun, calls one of his guys wide left in motion. But he is giving the ball to Chancellor Greer.
No, he kept it himself again.
Faked me out as well.
All right, so on
Lon
that one,
Cole had a stop in the backfield, but turns into a 2-yard pickup for the quarterback there.
I don't know if you noticed, again, we had 5 men on the line of scrimmage there ready to defend against that. And because of that, you had someone on the running back, stopped him, either didn't have the ball behind the line, and you're able to hold the quarterback to a minimal gain of about 1.5 yards. So we're looking at 3rd down and 4 here from the Knight 49-yard line.
2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Marcus Beeman once again faces a 3rd down and 4. Hands off to pass complete.
In the air.
Pass intended.
Intercepted
from West Lauderdale. That is, I believe, Braden Epting, number 17 for the Knights. That's Braden Epting.
Tried to hit his receiver on a slant. I'm not real sure if a defender got a hand in there or if it just bounced off of his hand straight up in the air into the waiting arms of Epting as he's able to return the ball.
And you see what Braden has not on his hand this evening to help him catch that ball. He almost had one a couple weeks ago, and he had that cast on his hand, and he doesn't have it on his hand this week, and he was able to come down with that football.
Not only did he come down the ball, he got a good return after it. He eventually was brought down, but the Knights starting on the positive side of the 50 on the Philadelphia Tornadoes 46-yard line.
Busby and Luke will line up to the right-hand side of the line as your receivers. Pistol formation for the Knights. Parker, and behind him is J.J. Grant. Looking to pass, going deep for Busby, and just led him a little too far. And Busby kind of hesitated there.
He did, and he still managed to have a step on the defensive back. He managed to get behind him, but you're right. There's a little bit of a hesitation there. Parker, you want that throw back, put a little more air under it. But, the throw was there. But that's one of the things, when you start in this kind of field position, you're able to take that kind of a shot.
Busby's got about a 6-inch span over the number 27 there, the defender there, to Marion Tatum. So I could see why they would want to go one-on-one with Brett Busby and saying, hey, I'm going to beat you with my receiver that's a little bit taller than you. 2nd down and 10. Movement, though, will cause some flags to appear.
Movement on the right side of the offensive line there. Got a little bit antsy trying to make sure we got that block. So that's going to make it 2nd down and 15 as they're moving back to their own 49-yard line.
Definitely don't want to turn this ball over when you've been given a gift. And the Tornadoes have been able to move the football against the Knights defense tonight. One receiver on each side of the field for the Knights. Parker will keep it himself. Goes that far side into midfield and into Knight territory once again. Ball comes free, and will it be Tornado football? It is still on that ground. It may be Tornado football, is it? Or was it down? Are they saying it was down?
It was really close to the sideline, not rushing. Okay, they are going to say that it was recovered by the Knights, but he did lose a couple of yards after, pick up about 10.
There is
I'm looking at a flag down there too. So as it stands, it would be 3rd and about 8 from the Tornado 44-yard line. But here comes the referee to give the signal. Blocking the back.
It's going to be against the Knights.
Yep.
Be marked off from the 42-yard line, I believe.
From the 44-yard line. It's a 10-yard penalty from the 44. So that's going to put them at their own 46-yard line. 2nd and about, I was going to say about 18 maybe, something like that. 20, 2nd down and 20.
2nd down, 18. It'll be early movement against the Philadelphia Tornadoes, but the Knights, the refs did not call it.
I thought they had jumped into the neutral zone.
Nonetheless, it's going to be a 3-yard pickup, so the Knights will face 3rd down and long, 3rd down about 15 for the Knights here in just a few moments. But definitely looked like number 4.
I have
it was in
no idea how you don't call that. It looked like he had jumped into the neutral zone when the ball was snapped. But as it stands, there he goes. I was waiting on the marker to move. But as it stands, it's going to be 3rd and about 16, 17, something like that.
Landon Vaughn checks in for Cooper Luke. Landon's in the slot there to the left. Busby wide left. Jackson Parker rolling out to his left and looking to go to, I believe, Landon Vaughn makes the connection, but not a 1st down.
But what you've done there is you put yourself in a position that's it's going to be about 4th and 5 from your own, or from the Tornado 41. Very makeable situation. Right. You're not going to punt from here.
Pass is complete.
So because of the big gain on the pass, they put themselves in a position to where they can go for it here.
Once again, the score is 13-6, 8:23 remaining in the first half. As we look at our Premier Paint and Body scoreboard, Knights face 4th down and 5.
We got a timeout by Philadelphia. That's going to be their 2nd of the half. Want to make sure they got the right personnel here on the defensive side of the ball with 8 minutes and 17 seconds left in the half.
We're going to stay in action here. The Knights 4th down and 5. Once again, because of the interception by Braden Epting, the Knights were able to get this drive, but the Tornadoes, what have you thought about the Tornadoes as far as offensively and defensively tonight?
Defensively, they're about what we expected. We knew they were going to be big and physical. That we knew they were going to come in, wanting to blitz, wanting to hit you in the backfield. They've had a hard time wrapping up the Grand, having a hard time stopping the running game. And as I say that, we're looking at a 4th and 5 situation. Offensively, they've moved the ball very effectively. They had a difficult time on the first drive, had to punt the ball away. But after that, they found what works for them.
And quarterback is a lot to do with that. Number 10, Marcus Beeman.
Yeah,
he's reading
you
the
see
field.
that at every level of the game. You think about college. You think about guys like, to keep it home, guys like Dak Prescott, who had so much so much success in Mississippi State. Nick Fitzgerald as a running quarterback.
All right.
And we see that here as well.
Back on the line. Knights face 4th down and 5. Parker waiting to snap. J.J. Grant directly behind Parker. And now he'll move Grant to his right-hand side.
Do you try a hard count here?
Yes. Nope. Parker rolls out to his right, looking for a receiver. Throws. Overshoots his intended receiver. Going to be a turnover on downs. No flag. So the Philadelphia Tornadoes will take over.
Barker's pass intended for
Almost where they were when they threw the interception. Of course, the interception was kind of helped with the tip there, trying to receive the ball, and that's never a good idea.
Yeah, anytime you got a ball floating around straight up in the air like that, it typically is not going to end well for the offense, and we saw that on that last interception. Going back to that last down, that 4th and 5 throw, he had a couple of guys in the area that had a step on on the defensive backs that were in coverage, just unable to make the connection, which anytime you're forced out of the pocket having a roll, even when it is to your throwing side, it's a little more difficult to find the accuracy needed and just unable to wrap it up on that one.
All right, first down and 10 for the Tornadoes on their own 41-yard line. Look like movement for the Tornadoes.
Did the center start to snap the
ball stayed
ball?
there.
I think he pump faked the snap.
Yeah.
He snapped it, didn't release it, put it back on the ground, and then realized, oh man, I've messed up, and snapped it.
All right, well, Clint, the football players are enjoying something called football weather tonight for the first time in probably this whole season.
I'm going to be honest, I'm enjoying not being up here just baking right now.
8:09 remains in the first half.
And
Knights lead 13-6. It's first down and 15 for the Tornadoes on their own 36. Beeman takes it himself once again, comes to this near side. Beeman once again making guys miss, and he is up to near midfield. Wow, how about that?
Yeah, that's going to bring up a 2nd down and 2 situation. They're going to mark him 2nd down and 3 maybe. I think they're going to mark him on the 48-yard line. But Lee, getting back to what you're talking about with the weather, that plays it on the game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've noticed, we have not had one stoppage of play for a kid cramping up.
Nope.
And yes, that is because we're in week 5 and their conditioning is a little better. They're a little accustomed to being out here on Friday nights, but they're also not, draining themselves of gallons of water through sweat.
2nd down and 3 for the Tornadoes. Hands off to Chancellor Greer. Chancellor Greer's got a first down and more. He is looking better. The more he runs, the faster he seems.
And goes to
there was no zone read on that. That was a straight dive on the left side of the offensive line between the guard and tackle, and there was a hole there. Able to move the sticks, and it'll be first down for the Tornadoes on the Knight 45-yard line.
Beeman, shotgun formation. Chancellor Greer to his right. And Chancellor will get the handoff. Chancellor slips down there around the 45-yard line, but still able to get a couple of yards.
Yeah, well, they had it marked on the 44, so that's going to bring up just to be a gain of 1. So that'll be 2nd down and 9. Knights did a great job on that one. That was almost an identical play to what we saw before that went for several yards and a first down. That time, learning from the mistakes on the last play, able to stop the run for a minimal gain of only 1.
Look out for Beeman here. Shotgun. He'll hand off. Nope.
He kept it himself.
And is able to come to this near side and pick up about 3 yards to the 40.
They're going to mark him on the 41-yard line, so that's going to bring up 3rd and about 7.
I think that was Dalton Bishop on that tackle there.
3rd and
I'm sorry, they did. Got up to the 41 instead of 40.
Play clock ticking down. Still got plenty of time, but 15 seconds left.
Tornadoes moving right to left with a receiver on each side of the field for Marcus Beeman. Shotgun formation, Greer to his left. And Greer will get the handoff to the far side, crosses to the 39-yard line.
They're going to mark him gain of 2, so that's going to bring up 4th and 5.
I have to say that Tornadoes.
It's going to be a long 5, 4th and maybe 6.
I have to say the Tornadoes are probably going to put it on the feet of Beeman right here, I would think.
That's going to be a timeout.
Real step aside as well. 5:48 remains in the first half. Knights lead 13-6. As we look at the Premier Paint and Body scoreboard, we'll be back on Q101.
Barbecue pull-up for
West Lauderdale football is on. EQ Meridian.
Welcome back to, I'm going to try to pronounce this, Harpo Field.
Sounds good to me, man. I've butchered it twice, so there you go.
Forgive me if I say that wrong. Philadelphia Tornadoes 6, West Lauderdale Knights 13. Philadelphia Tornadoes face a 4th down and 5. as they are inside Knight territory on the Knight 39-yard line. It has been a very good game tonight. The Knights had a gift just a few moments ago, couldn't do anything with it, an interception, but turned it over on downs, and now the ensuing drive for the Philadelphia Tornadoes. The Tornadoes faced the 4th down and 5 just as the Knights did just a few moments ago.
Waiting on the referee to start the clock to where we can get the play off.
Quarterback has been able to
had a lot of success on his feet.
Yep.
Been successful in the air, but really a game changer with his legs.
Definitely would be expecting that. And he's looking to pass. He looks to this near side. And almost intercepted by, wow.
Okay.
Could you believe that? That was almost intercepted, almost reception, almost intercepted again, almost reception, but an incomplete pass.
The route was jumped. I mean, it bounced off his hands, off his shoulder pads, into the hands of the receiver who would have had the first down, into the air, hit himself in the chest, and then it rolls on the ground, incomplete.
Wow.
The most exciting incomplete pass I've seen all year, I believe.
Both receiver and cornerback doing a great job to stay with it.
Yeah.
Knights will take over on their own 39-yard line. First time they were actually stopped was the previous drive. Let's see if they can pick up pace here. One receiver to the left, one to the right. Parker in the shotgun. He'll hand off to J.J. Grant. Grant's got
the edge.
That far side, and he's at the midfield and out of bounds around the 48, 49-yard line of the Tornadoes.
That's going to be a first down for the Knights as they move it into Tornado territory on the Tornado 49-yard lines where they're going to mark it. I stand corrected. They've got it on midfield. But still, a first down for the Knights. He had the edge, and you're right. He had a convoy of blockers out there ahead of him, too. Always makes you feel a little bit better as a running back whenever you're able to realize you've got guys separating you from the defense. And there's a snap, quick pass
directly
to
Busby.
Gain of about 8. They're going to mark him down on about the 42-yard line, 43-yard line. So, yeah, they've got him on the 43. It's going to be a gain of 7. Bring up 2nd and 3.
He is just so towering over most cornerbacks that how can you not go his way?
Well, you know, we talked about with the barrage of blockers that we had on the run. Back to that
go to him again.
Another pass, able to make the first man miss, and again, he is fighting.
So the 33, not actually fighting.
Yeah, I'm sorry, fighting for yardage. Let me finish that statement. Fighting for yardage and doing a great job.
To the Tornado 34-yard line, so first down for the Knights.
That's been 2 consecutive quick passes where he's got blockers in front of him. You know, it's going to be a handoff
to JJ. JJ goes up the middle and comes to the 26, 27-yard line. I was say up the middle. He's toward the middle of the field.
He's between the hash marks. We can call that the middle.
Right.
But that's going to bring up a 2nd down and 3 from the 27-yard line.
For a nice gain. Kenyon Brown.
2 receivers to the left for Parker.
Stops the play.
Grant lined up to his left as well. Looking left and looking to go deep.
He's wide open.
Touchdown West Lauderdale. That's what they were setting up with the 2 quick passes to Busby. That's the both defenders bought on the fake to Busby, and Cooper Luke said, hey, I'm almost to the end zone. How about throwing it to me?
I don't know if you knew. There were 2 fakes there. He faked the pass to Busby on the line. He acted like he was about to run and draw up the middle.
That's going to go for 2 here, I believe. $13 by a score of 19. For 2 on their previous touchdown and failed. Regular formation. And Grant with the handoff.
He is in easily in. We have a Tornado still on the ground. Okay, they're helping him up. Okay.
Lead 21-6 once again as we look at our Premier Paint and Body scoreboard. We'll be back here on Q101.
Q101.
Well, after a 26-yard touchdown pass from Jackson Parker to Cooper Luke, the Knights extend their lead 21-6. 2-point conversion was good.
Endeavoring kick taken at the 26.
Yep.
Going to be down on the 29. So
best coverage of the night for the Knights on kickoff return.
Absolutely. Short return. And you're right. It's basically as soon as he caught the ball, he had men on top of him. So after a couple of pretty decent returns and an attempted onside kick, found a way to stop him there on a minimal return. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Tornadoes.
Once again, the Knights are trying to do something they've never done, and that is defeat the Philadelphia Tornadoes in 2021. So,
I'm not a superstitious guy, but if you just jinx us, I'm throwing a book at you.
we said it earlier, so I can't do that. 2 receivers to the left for quarterback Marcus Beeman. Beeman, quarterback sack number 79.
They were waiting on that.
Chris Griffith. Actually, Jordan Gowdy had a lot into that as well. He basically stopped the path of Marcus Beeman. But
So that's going to be
right there saying, I'm going to bring you on down, buddy.
2nd down and 15 from their own 29-yard line.
About a 5-yard loss on the play.
Finally, we've been talking about he's had so much success with his feet, but they were waiting on him that time. He had no chance. Great job by your defensive line to get penetration in the backfield and to drop him for a 5-yard loss. 7 seconds on the play clock.
Greer with the handoff, and he is hit hard by Dylan Williamson as he gets up to the original line of scrimmage. Going to bring up 3rd down and 10.
It looks like the Knights are going to take a timeout. They're looking at 3.5 minutes on the clock, thinking, man, we got to. If we get to stop here,
right,
we can put up some more points and get the ball at the half.
That's what I was about to refer to. Why are you taking my thunder for me?
That's what I'm paid to do, man.
I got you. You get paid?
But anyway, so Knights taking the timeout here to stop the clock. Really thinking, you've got a 3rd and long situation here, 3rd and 10. Been successful so far on the first 2 plays of this drive of, not allowing any kind of yardage.
I bet you're wishing that you brought a long sleeve.
Actually, I'm feeling good right now. Feeling okay.
You kind of made fun of me wearing a long sleeve when I got out of the vehicle.
There's so much to make fun of you for. It all runs together.
Halftime of the homecoming game on October 15th.
Speaking of homecoming, if you heard the PA announcer just a few seconds ago talking about the Philadelphia homecoming next week, the West Lauderdale Knights will welcome League Central to the Kingdom and enjoy their homecoming as we start division play, district play.
Excited to see how we're going to do starting next week with district play. Been pretty successful in non-district for the first 4 games and looking good on the 5th game.
If history proves anything, Brock Clay has had a tremendous job, has done a tremendous job in district, 17-3 record in district play throughout his 5 years here at West
3rd down
Lauderdale.
and 10.
Quarterback Beeman
hands it off
to Greer. Greer slips down at the 30.
So they're going to
yard
stop
pickup
it
after that. So it's going to be 4th down and 8.
Knights taking their 2nd time out of the night of the half. And that's going to bring up 4th down and 8 like you were just talking about. And it looking like your punt team coming out. So the Knights are going to get, depending on how the punt goes, decent field position with 1 timeout, and it's going to be about 3 minutes left in the half.
2nd time the Philadelphia Tornadoes have punted. Of course, one of the
Hopefully.
drives.
Hopefully.
Yes, yeah. One of the drives ended in an interception for the Knights.
So and we've been talking about how successful the Tornadoes have been moving the ball, running the ball. Man, they've got 6 points to show in the first half.
But once you take out the run game, of course, if you're only up by 2 scores, you go up by 3, you're going to have to implement the passing game more.
Yeah.
With the Tornadoes, so you're going to be keying on that quarterback a little bit more. Punter for the Tornadoes is
that's Patrick Miller. That's number 3.
Parker is standing at its 37-yard line. Waiting to snap. High snap for the Tornadoes. I think somebody got a hand on that one.
Let it go. There we go. All right. Good bounce for the Tornadoes.
It'll roll inside the 30. Late flag. Not sure. I heard a lot of people in the stands.
I looked up, and it looked like, man,
Flag on the play.
the punter was actually involved in that. And I can't see the number walking off. I'm looking at the guy right there.
This is going to go against the Tornadoes just by hearing the fans.
It looked like he shoved him in the back.
Just by hearing the
punter
fans
checked him.
Getting onto their own players. Once again, the flag is in the area around the 45-yard line of the Tornadoes. And the Knights are Once again, it took a tornado bounce at the 27-yard line, 28-yard line. It's going to be against the Knights. Block in the back.
That is not what I expected them to call in there. But so that's going to be, marching them back even further. So it looks like the Knights are going to take over from their own 18-yard line.
Worst field position for the Knights tonight.
I apologize. 14-yard line.
You can't win them all.
Nope.
You've been pretty good tonight, but not this one.
I'll as long as I'm on the positive side, I'm okay with that. But as it stands, the Knights are taking over on their own 14-yard line.
Parker hands off to Caleb Collins, comes this near side to the 15, to the 20, 25, 30, 35, still on his feet to the out of bounds.
He's going to step out right on the 42-yard line.
If he would have stayed in bounds, he might have taken that one to the house. He might have had one guy going to have a chance at him, but if he would have stepped inside instead of going out of bounds, he might could have taken it.
With that one play, you were pinned fairly deep. Worst starting field position of the night. One play later.
42-yard line.
Yeah, I was going to say, what is that, about a 28-yard run, something like that? You were on the 14. Clock stopped at 3:02. There's the snap.
Hands off to Caleb again. Goes to that far side, opposite side of the field. Late flag, may be coming back due to a holding penalty.
It's definitely in the area where you would typically see holding.
Takes the ball into tornado territory. There is a flag on the play.
Collins is does a tremendous job when he comes in for J.J. Grant.
We talked about this last week how big of a deal it is to be able to take out your workhorse, the one who literally carries you up and down the field so many times.
Is this going to go against Philadelphia? Wow, we were thinking of holding West Lauderdale. This is going to be against Philadelphia. A huge penalty.
10 yards stepped off against the Tornadoes.
Did they call a chop block against the defense?
Blocking below the waist. That's what the penalty he called.
All right, so typically you see that on the offensive line whenever you have somebody engaged blocking up high like you normally see it, and then another player diving at their feet. So we had to have seen that. One of your defensive linemen engaged with an offensive lineman of the Knights and another defensive player going low on that at the same time. And what you see there so many times, whenever someone goes high-low on you, you're unable to protect yourself, and you see ligaments hurt.
Parker
pass to Cooper Luke. It's going to be a gain of about 6.
No, I'm sorry, that is Landon Vaughn.
Is that Vaughn that came down with it?
In the slot there.
There you go.
6-yard pickup.
But anyways, what I was saying, that's such a dangerous play, and that's why it's a 15-yard penalty, because you can tear ligaments, you can tear up knees because you're unable to protect yourself.
J.J. Grant with a carry comes this near side.
Wide
30,
open,
20,
wide open.
10, 5, touchdown.
That is 6 points for the Knights. The hole was huge.
That's a 34-yard touchdown run.
Man, that was a big hole for him to get in.
34-yard touchdown run.
Takes the ball down to about the 5-yard line, first and goal.
Lee, I've made this joke before, but man, it's still applicable. I don't know that we could have run through, but we definitely could have gone through that hole. Great job by your offensive lineman clearing the path.
Are the Knights going to go for 2 again? Yes, they're going to go for 2.
They're lined up for 2.
2 receivers to the left for Parker. Grant next to him on his left. And Parker wants to throw. Got Cooper Luke, and he had it in his mitts, but it's going to be incomplete. 27-6. The Knights have a 21-point advantage over the Philadelphia Tornadoes. 2:23 remains here in the first half. We'll be back on Q101.
Your local pharmacy and gift shop.
Run from J.J. Grant, his second on the night. The Knights lead 27-6 as we look at the Premier Paint and Body scoreboard.
All right, so if you're Philadelphia coming out, you got 2.5 minutes, you got 1 timeout left. I mean, are you just trying to survive until the half? Do you want to try to put points on the field, on the board?
I think you're going to be airing this out. Quite honestly, number 4 has not been really targeted much in this game. Number 4 being a tremendous athlete that plays on special teams. High kick, going to come down the 40-yard line. Number 5.
He caught a fair catch on the 40.
It's Austin Donald. But I was able to watch some film on Andrew Carter, a tight end, receiver, whatever you want to call him, defensive back, defensive lineman. He's been playing everywhere. He's not been utilized tonight.
He's not, and I've been a little bit surprised. Talking to some of the guys in the press box that are here every week watching Philadelphia play, and I asked the question, like, okay, who do we need to be looking out for? And that was both of them that I spoke with. That was their first and really only response.
But right now, I mean, if you don't score here, you're taking the chance of not only being down by 3 scores, but you alluded to this earlier. Knights get the football to start the second half. You could be down by 4 scores if you don't score here.
And what if the Knights had 1 turnover on downs because of a block in the back that put them behind?
But handoff here to Chancellor Greer, comes to this near side, and he is down after about a 2-yard pickup. That'll bring up second down and 8. And I'm not sure how many timeouts that the Philadelphia Tornadoes have. 1 timeout left.
Both teams are sitting with 1 timeout left in the bank. And man, what we just saw here is what we did not see a lot in the latter half of the first quarter, the beginning of the second quarter, and that is your linebackers, your defensive backs coming up and making tackles in open field. We saw that against Chancellor Greer. We've seen it several times with Beeman, with the quarterback. So they're doing an incredible job. They've adapted. They're understanding what their strategy is, and they're doing a great job stopping it.
Another handoff to Greer. Goes up the middle this time, and 7-yard pick. Nope, I'm sorry, a 6-yard pickup.
That's going to bring up a 3rd and 3, 32, 33. I think it's going to be 3rd and 2.
Long 2.
Long 2.
First down to make would be just on the other side of midfield. 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right for Beeman. Beeman will hand off once again to Greer. Greer gets open in that first line, and once again, if you're crowding that line, you get past the first line, you've got a 10-yard gain right there.
Absolutely, because he was able to get through the guys who were down on the line. Nobody was there until you got into the secondary.
You think the defense was kind of baited on Beeman right there?
I think every person in the stadium was watching number 10, watching Beeman, watching the quarterback, anticipating a keeper there.
First down and 10 into Knight territory at the 41. Greer once again
hitting the backfield.
Chris Griffith once again.
I wrapped him up. All right, so we are inside of a minute, 53 seconds. Clock is running now.
Yard loss on the play.
Kind of a little bit surprised that we're not seeing the timeout. There it is.
Final timeout for Philadelphia. We'll stay here next.
They took 12 seconds between the end of the play and the timeout. That's 12 seconds you need. That's 12 seconds you're not going to get back, and they are without a timeout moving for the next 46 seconds. I'm listening to the PA guy talk about it. We do have a band competition tomorrow at West Lauderdale at the Kingdom. And excited to see not only our band not compete. I don't think you compete when you're hosting it, but they will definitely perform. But excited to see so many of the other bands in schools, local and coming from a distance, to come and compete, and just excited to see these kids. Friday nights, the football players get so much of the attention, and understandably so. They put a lot of time, but the band doesn't really get the recognition that they deserve.
No.
So excited to see that.
When people go get their hamburgers and
unfortunately so. So excited to see your Knights perform, and excited to see some of the other bands compete and get the recognition that they so rightfully deserve.
Philadelphia Tornadoes already on the ball. Knights break huddle on the sideline. Tornadoes face a second down and 11 and 46 seconds left in the half. They are down by 3 scores, 27-6 from the Premier Paint and Body scoreboard.
All right, so with no timeouts left, do you have to put the ball in the air here? That's what they're going to do.
So Beeman looking to pass.
Beeman's in trouble.
Taking down Chris
He is
Griffith.
sacked.
I'm sorry, that is Eli Bates. They look very similar, 62. Chris Griffith definitely has a bit of height advantage over Eli Bates.
All right, so I don't know that you snap the ball again. You're looking at 3rd and a mile. The thing is, like, if you get stopped here, the Knights could take a timeout and try to air one out.
Correct.
I'm being told here that the Knights do not have any more timeouts. I thought they had one more, but I think that they're out. I knew Philadelphia didn't have any more. Okay. So, but 12 seconds left in the half.
Beeman rolls out to his right, flush from
under
the pocket,
pressure,
and got a receiver. Makes incomplete pass. That will stop the clock with 5.7 seconds remaining. Going to bring up 4th down, but what do you do here? You just
I think you You snap the ball to the fastest guy on the field and tell him to run around for 6 seconds.
You know, I'm wondering about Beeman's legs down there because he has not attempted to really run the football here in this drive. And toward the latter part of the previous drive, the Knights have been able to corral him and catch up with him in the previous drives. He's been able to break open for quite a bit. So I'm not sure if they're just holding that, but something is definitely wrong. The reason why Beeman's not running here. 2 receivers right, 2 receivers left. Beeman will move Chancellor to his left as well. Once again, this will be the final play, more than likely. 4th down and 14. Beeman rolls out to his left, throws deep. Got 2 receivers in the vicinity, and it's knocked away, and it will be incomplete. No flags, and that will be the end of the first half.
You always have to look around, make sure there was no flag, because if you got a defensive foul, you know, they get one untimed down. But you're right, so ball fell harmlessly incomplete, so the Knights carry a 21-point lead into the half, and they will get to the opening kickoff.
All right, coming up with your halftime show, of course, being brought to you by Alpha Insurance, Will Sweat, as well as Meridian Mattress Factory. We'll go over your scoring summary and go over some other scores from around the area. Some of these schools are already in district play, while some will be entering district play next week as well. So we'll take a look at all this coming up with your halftime show. 27-6 in favor of the Knights. They will receive to begin the second half as well as we look at the Premier Paint and Body scoreboard. We'll be back on Q101.
Factory on Q101.
Oh, once again, the Premier Paint and Body scoreboard shows a good score for the Knights, 27-6, and Actually, if you want to get down to it, less than points on the field because some extra points were missed down there, but pretty good. I can't fault them because they're leading by 21 points. So 27-6, and they will receive to begin the second half of play. Once again, this is your halftime show being brought to you by Alpha Insurance Agent Will Sweat, located at 2340 North Hill Street, as well as Meridian Mattress Factory, 226th Avenue South, Meridian. And just to show you how we got to the 27-6 first quarter. Started out like this. Well, Mighty Knight Marching Band on the stage kind of got me surprised there with that symbol there. Anyway, the Knights got up first with a 12-yard touchdown pass from Jackson Parker to Cooper Luke. Extra point was good. Knights led 7-0 with 10:17 remaining in the first quarter. Philadelphia, though, would put a lot on the ground in this particular drive. Got a 1-yard touchdown run. PAT was no good, actually hit the upright on the left upright, and the Knights had a 1-point advantage as the first quarter ended. Quarter two, a lot of scoring by your West Lauderdale Knights. How about this? The Knights got 13 on a 4-yard touchdown run. 2-point conversion was no good. 4-yard touchdown run came from J.J. Grant, so the Knights led 13-6. Knights actually had a gift given to them. There was an interception from Braden Epting. The Knights could not capitalize, though, and turn the ball over on downs. And the Tornadoes on the ensuing drive could not do anything with it as well. Knights, though, how about this? A 24-yard touchdown pass from Jackson Parker to Cooper Luke to give the Knights a 21-6 advantage. West Lauderdale was not done. Got a 39-yard touchdown run from J.J. Grant to extend the lead 27-6. J.J. Grant with 120 yards already in the first half. And in the statistics showed 8:06 coming into tonight's game. If that is correct, so he's got a 926 yards as we speak this season. Needs 74 yards to break 1,000.
Yeah, and I don't know if we're going to run into a situation like we saw at Southeast last week. They're doing a lot of stuff right, but the scoreboard is not on their side right now. And with West Lauderdale getting the ball at the start of the second half, there's a very real possibility West Lauderdale goes up 28 points before Philadelphia sees the ball again. So are we going to see a situation to where you start kind of pulling back some of the starters in the fourth quarter?
You're correct.
So that may it may hinder his ability to break 1,000 tonight. I would love to see it, but I mean, it's coming. Yeah. I mean, it's almost an inevitability at this point. He's done such a fabulous job running the ball, running with authority. Angry running. We heard
those terms, angry runs during the summer workouts. I remember talking to Brock Lay, the first interview. This kid is running angry, and we've seen it tonight.
Yeah,
we've definitely seen it.
You are not going to see one person take this ball carrier down.
One play in particular, there was 3 kids on him down around the goal line. One of them, at least one, had his face mask turning him backwards. Still made it in the end zone, 4 yards out.
Well, there was one situation, probably around the 25, 30-yard line. I counted 8 Philadelphia players in the scrimmage, in the tussle, and he's still moving the ball.
Special kid.
Yeah, you don't see that kind of running right now.
As you're hearing the sounds of the West Lauderdale Mighty Knight Marching Band, pretty good sounds out there. Once again, they're going to be having their competition.
It is. I think they're kind of like the Excalibur competition, something like that.
So if you want to get out to the Kingdom tomorrow to enjoy a lot of bands, they'll be on the center stage tomorrow night. Not only just halftime, but see the entire get-up from West Lauderdale Knights from the other county schools as well. So make sure you get on out there. I'm not 100% sure on the exact time it begins.
I don't have the time
we'll
either.
Try to get that before the broadcast ends, but
what I do know, and we talked about this earlier, whenever you're hosting the competition, you don't actually compete, but you do have the opportunity to perform your performance, your halftime show for the crowd. And we talked about this so many times on Friday nights. The band just does not get the recognition that they deserve, and so excited to see these kids be center stage, see them have the opportunity to show up, because they put in the summer workouts. They do the band, band camp. They do all the work, and it's good to finally see them get some of the recognition that they deserve.
Once again, a halftime show being brought to you by Alpha Insurance Agent Will Sweat, as well as Meridian Mattress Factory. We're going to take a 3-minute break, come right back with your stats. Get the rest of the stats. I know we gave J.J. Grant stats a few moments ago, but we'll give the remaining stats as well. So not only West Lauderdale, but for the Philadelphia Tornadoes as well. And try to give you some scores from around the area coming up. It's the halftime show being brought to you by Will Sweat and Meridian Mattress Factory on Q101. Insurance Agent as well as Meridian Mattress Factory. Score is 27-6 in favor of the West Lauderdale Knights. That tinfoil does not like, or excuse me, our electrical box here does not like tinfoil, does it?
It does not, so I wouldn't recommend putting it back on there. But just kind of go over a few statistics with you while we have a little bit of time here at the half. We're about 7.5 minutes left on the scoreboard.
Definitely these are unofficial stats until they go back and look at the tape and see exactly who had what and all this kind of stuff.
Absolutely, but I would love to give you what I got right now. And we'll start with team statistics. First downs, West Lauderdale has had 15 first downs in the first half. Philadelphia had 8. West Lauderdale had 16 carries for 199 yards. Philadelphia had 27 carries for 111. Passing yards, West Lauderdale has 95. Philadelphia has 18. Completions, West Lauderdale is 9 for 11, and Philadelphia is 4 for 10. That being said, now let's give you some individual statistics. rushing the ball. J.J. Grant's leading all rushers on both teams for West Lauderdale. He has 9 carries for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns. Caleb Collins has 3 for 52. Jackson Parker has 3 for 14, and Wyatt Castle has 1 rush for 13 yards. For Philadelphia, Beeman, number 10, the quarterback, has 10 rushes for 59 yards. And Chancellor Greer, number 23, the running back, has 17 rushes for 52 yards and a touchdown. Passing, Jackson Parker, like I said, 9 for 11 for 95 yards and 2 touchdowns. Beeman is 4 for 8 for 18 yards, no touchdowns, and an interception.
All right, Sydney, let's pour your rock in this house.
You're receiving for West Lauderdale, Cooper Luke, 4 receptions for 55 yards and 2 touchdowns. Brett Busby, 3 receptions for 24 yards. And Landon Vaughn, 2 receptions for 16 yards. So there are your statistics right there.
Parker has looked fantastic once again. He may have wanted probably a couple throws back, but you got to expect that when the temperature changes, that affects more than you think. When you're down there trying to run on the throw on the run, it's a little backwards.
Absolutely. Well, and one thing we haven't really brought up, and Philadelphia, they've got a good-sized defensive line that they move well, and while they haven't just been extraordinary with the pressure, the offensive line of West Lauderdale is doing a good job of pass blocking. They have had minimal success getting in his face, and that's when we've seen when he's been forced to roll out of the pocket to make something out of nothing. That's when we've seen the incompletions. I remember, one that really pops into my mind is the 4th and 5 where we turned it over on downs. Right. He's forced to roll to his right. He's forced to roll out of the pocket.
Left-handed. So it's actually rolling to his opposite.
Rolling away from your passing side. And, I'm going to show my age again. I grew up in South Mississippi, so obviously grew up as a Brett Favre fan. I mean, the dude had 2 modes, touchdown or interception. And the majority of the interceptions, Brett Favre never saw a pass he didn't like until it was in the hands of the defenders. And the majority of those interceptions came whenever he was rolling to his left, away from his throwing side. Right. And we've seen that's where the majority of the incompletions have come, not only tonight, but just throughout the season for Jackson Parker, have been when he's been forced to roll to his right as a left-handed quarterback, throw against his body. It's just so difficult not only to be accurate with that, but to have any kind of velocity on that pass as well.
All right, once again, scored 27-6 in favor of the Knights. The Knights do receive the football to come out to the second half. Premier Paint and Body scoreboard is looking pretty good right now. We're going to come back after 2 minutes and give you some scores. Can Clarkdale stay unbeaten tonight? That's an awesome story down there in Clarkdale, right? We'll see if the Bulldogs can stay unbeaten. I believe it's their homecoming tonight. We'll see about some scores from around our own district, such as Kosciuszko, League Central, Louisville, Choctaw Central, and so on. So we'll come back with some more of those scores, those area scores, coming up with your halftime show. Once again, being brought to you by Alpha Insurance Agent Will Sweat, as well as Meridian Mattress Factory. All coming your way next on Q101. about to be complete, excuse me, as the Knights have a 27-6 halftime being brought to you by Alpha Insurance agent Will Sweat, as well as Meridian Mattress Factory here on Q101. Here's you some other scores, though, from around the area. Meridian, Northwest Rankin tonight, or Meridian and Northwest Rankin. The Meridian Wildcats have a 2-point lead at halftime, 14-12. Let's see, Newton County and Summerall, the Summerall Bearcats, or Bobcats, excuse me, all tied up 28-28. That's a lot of scoring in a first half. I mean, it really is, by both teams, 28 points.
Yeah, that's one of those you can't imagine there have been a whole lot of punting on that one.
Kemper County and Southeast Lauderdale. Kemper County, one of the top teams in their region, or excuse me, in their division, 28-7 against Southeast Lauderdale. Let's see, Neshoba Central still showing. They started district play like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I think this is at least their second, if not third week of district play.
21-6 over Provine, the Provine Rams. That is in the third quarter. Noxubee County and Louisville. I remember this game, Noxubee County and Louisville was always this huge rivalry. I don't know if it was a rivalry, but huge teams playing each other. Noxubee County in 3A now. Louisville still in 4A. Louisville 21, Noxubee County 0. That was a first quarter score. Clarkdale. I know you had a Clarkdale score earlier, didn't you?
I did. It is their homecoming. A friend of our family is in the homecoming course. My wife and daughter are actually at that game. So she texted me the halftime score. They were playing Sacred Heart out of Hattiesburg. The score is 42-14 Clarkdale.
Wow.
So, and look, we obviously cover the West Lauderdale games and thoroughly enjoy doing it. But let's be honest, West Lauderdale has expectations of winning. Clarkdale for football, not so much. And Coach Souls has been there for a few years now doing an incredible job with that program. I've lived in Meridian 5 years, and I don't know that I've ever seen them come close to a 5-0 record
That's
to start
what makes
the
this
season.
so exciting for Clarkdale, being 5-0 and getting into district play next week. I do believe. And I hope they can. I hope they can run the table.
Absolutely. Much more known to be a baseball school, and showing out in other sports now as well. So it's good for the county.
You're giving old Coach Scott Gibson a little toot on the horn there, ain't you?
Absolutely. Got to love Coach Gibson over there.
Enterprise leads Quitman, the other Bulldogs from down in that area. Enterprise leads the Quitman Panthers 28-13 at the half. Let's see, that's pretty much all I have currently, so we'll try to get you some more scores throughout the evening.
I actually have one more for you, Lee.
Right.
I just heard from someone over in Kosciuszko. They are hosting Forest tonight, and at the half, Kosciuszko, who we play in 2 weeks, I believe.
A little bit later, yeah.
2 or 3 weeks, but they are currently sitting on a 21-0 lead at the half over Forest.
Let's see if I can get you a Northeast Lauderdale score real quick. Don't have one just yet. They're playing Heidelberg tonight, so
that'll be a good game as well. Northeast Lauderdale. Heidelberg traditionally has a decent team over there, so excited to see how that comes out for the Trojans over at Northeast. But as it stands right now, we've got less than a minute on the scoreboard before the half runs out, and the Knights just finished stretching, doing a few agilities, getting warmed up for the second half, and they're running onto the sideline ready to return the kickoff to begin the second half. Philadelphia still stretching out. We've got 35 seconds left on the board, but we are right here at the start of the second half, ready to see this go down, the next 24 minutes of football.
they love their music up here in Philadelphia, don't they?
Man, I'm going to be honest, I'm kind of digging it right now, too.
Yeah. Well, AC/DC.
Anything made before 1984, I'm down. All right, looks like Philadelphia getting ready to come on the sideline to start the second half as well. The Knights are sending their kickoff return team onto the field. And they are carrying, as we've already told you, a 21-point lead. And Philadelphia, their offensive strategy for the most part, and you were reminded of this as we went over the statistics a couple minutes ago, their offensive strategy has been to run the ball, to try to wear you down. And they've had some success between the 20s, but unable to put a whole lot of points on the board. But it's going to be curious to see if they're able to continue that strategy, especially if West Lauderdale is able to put some points, score a touchdown here to open the second half. Because if you're down by 4 scores, it becomes, you've got to score a lot, and you've got to score a lot quick. And you don't really do that by running the ball. So they're going to be forced to put the ball in the air moving into the second half, especially if our Knights are able to put a touchdown on the board to start this second half. So it's going to be excited to see what direction this goes as Philadelphia is teeing the ball up. We have 12 minutes left on the board for the third quarter. Halftime is officially over, and we are kicking the ball off.
Thank you once again to Alpha Insurance Agent Will Sweat, as well as Meridian Mattress Factory for providing sponsorship of our halftime show.
The Knights are going to be receiving the ball, moving left to right as you look at your radio.
Deep kick, number 54 of the Tornadoes.
It was received on the 12-yard line.
20, 25, 30.
Still on his feet after the 35. And that's where the Knights will take over on the 35-yard line, right on the 35 of they're on 35-yard line.
Where did JJ catch that at?
He caught it on the 12-yard line.
Okay, all right.
Ball returned to the 35-yard line.
With a solid return, about a 22, 23-yard return.
So Knights will break huddle on the sideline. Brett Busby lined up wide left. Wyatt Castle, who came up limping during the first quarter. He is back at wide right. Grant, no, this is Parker, keeps it himself and
made the first man miss, but he's going to be hit in the backfield. It's going to be dropped for a loss of a yard. Whole host of Tornadoes were waiting on him after he made the first man miss. So that's going to come down for a loss of 1. They're going to bring up 2nd and 11 on their own 34-yard line.
Parker will put Grant to his left. Same formation as far as the receivers go, and Grant will get the carry. Grant comes to this near side, and I don't know how many guys Grant made him miss. But
look at him moving that pile.
More. He
oh, my goodness.
into tornado territory.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No, they're going to say he did come into it. Of course, the progress did move him into the territory, but they were blowing the whistle dead at midfield.
It took 5 Tornadoes to bring him down. He made 2 guys miss behind the line of scrimmage, was hit twice before making the yard to gain, and carried a pile of 5 Tornadoes to midfield. Angry, aggressive running by J.J. Grant.
Parker, midfield, looking to pass. Got to get rid of it. Goes over the middle. I believe there was maybe some miscommunication.
Yeah, a little bit of miscommunication between your wide receiver and your quarterback. Receiver went out about 15 yards and then made an out route toward the sideline, expecting the pass to be there. Parker, I believe, was expecting a fly route where you just basically run as fast as you can downfield, and that's the pass that he threw.
And the intended receiver was Gunnar Knapp there, number 44. Pistol formation for the Knights.
2nd and 10 from midfield.
Hand off to J.J. J.J. goes off to that far side.
He's got the
40,
corner.
35, 30.
He is not going to be caught.
15, 10, 5. Touchdown, West Lauderdale. 50-yard touchdown run from J.J. Grant.
He got the corner. There was nobody there between him and the end zone. Number 5, linebacker Austin Donald for the Tornadoes was the only one who even had a shot. Tried to shove him out of bounds somewhere around the 3. Was not able to, didn't quite have the angle, and he was able to punch it in. So we've got the swinging gate formation. Looks like they may actually go for an extra point now.
And this was right after that angry run that he was carrying almost what looked to be an entire team. There's the kick, is up and is good. Knights 34, Philadelphia 6. We'll be back after this on Q101. Well, after a 50-yard touchdown run, J.J. Grant is about 26 shy. These are unofficial now.
Well, let's talk about what we just saw. And I know where you're going with this. You saw a 14-yard run where he made 2 men miss and carried 8 yards. And then he had a 50-yard touchdown run where he beat everybody to the corner and just flew down the sideline. So we saw angry and
14 yards shy of 1,000 yards.
There's your kickoff by the Knights, and it is going to go out of bounds at the 30-yard line. So that's going to be penalty. We'll see where they mark it off, depending on where it actually went out of bounds. We're going to see
Looking
where
like
they
the
spot it.
29-yard line is where the official is standing.
So they're going to put it on just inside the 35-yard line.
Not a bad return. 6-yard return there.
All right, so what we have Philadelphia with their first drive of the second half. It took the Knights a minute and
22.
20 seconds, give or take, 22 seconds to score that touchdown.
Marcus Beeman, quarterback. Going to hand it off to Chancellor Greer. Comes to this near side and hits.
Ooh.
Gets hit hard. Dylan Brown.
Chancellor Greer hit at the line of the scrimmage.
Shot out of there like a cannon. Did not check up until he was through the running back. That's going to be a run of about, 4 yards, something like that?
Ball is spotted in between the 38 and 39-yard line. So second down along 7. Or excuse me, second down along 6. Same formation for the Tornadoes. He will put Greer to his left as Marcus Beeman. Beeman, another handoff to Greer, and Greer goes to the opposite side and gets another 3, maybe 4-yard pickup. 3-yard pickup.
But this is what I was talking about coming in just before kickoff in this quarter. They're down by 28 points right now. You're nickel and dominant with running the ball, and you're picking up 3-4 yards to carry. And if you're not down by 4 scores, you can maintain this, but you've got to pick up chunk yards quick. You're not going to be able to keep this. So eventually they're going to have to put the ball in the air. They're going to have to do something to pick up big yards quick.
Same formation with 2 receivers to the left for the Tornadoes.
Beeman keeps it.
Gets a first down and more. He was tackled by Dylan Williamson.
They're going to spot him on the 49-yard line, 48, 49. Yeah, 49.
Brings the ball out to about the 49.
Once again, he times his runs. He waits for those lead blockers to get out and seal those blocks. I was able to see it just then from the backside of him, and to where he was just timing that run. Because he's definitely faster than what he's showing. But I just figured that out. He's kind of waiting for those lead blockers to get out ahead of him. Chancellor Greer with the handoff here comes this near side into Knights territory to the 46-yard line. Do you get what I'm saying with that?
Absolutely, I do, and that's one of the major benefits of having a quarterback who can run is it gives you an extra blocker. Your running back who normally would be the one to carry the ball is able to get downfield and pick up a block for you after he fakes a handoff. So all right, we've got they are forcing him off the field right now.
He's seeing a few.
Yeah, he had a pretty. He who was that? Did you catch a name? A number?
Jet Calvert is the one that's being told to.
Yeah, he came off a little, staggering just a little bit, and due to concussion protocols and all that, you want to make sure that he's okay. So the referees told him he had to take some time off the field to get checked by the trainer on the sideline.
Starting cornerback for the Knights, so see if that affects where the Tornadoes go here. Second down 5, and he'll hand off to Chancellor Greer, and Greer's met at the 45-yard line, crosses to the 44-yard line, so pick up of 2 yards. Third down and short, 3rd down and 3 for the Tornadoes.
Chancellor Greer around the
So what we saw right now is we saw the Knights able to put the ball into the end zone. What did I say, a minute and 20 seconds, something like that?
Right.
So as it sits.
Nearing a 3-minute drive here.
Exactly. And that's just not going to work for the Tornadoes if they're going to try to get back in this game. And don't get me wrong, I hope they don't. But still, you've got to change your strategy whenever you're down by this much.
Burnside and Grady are your receivers. They'll send Burnside in motion, and
Beamy keeps the ball.
Quarterback will get a first down to the 38-yard line, 39-yard line.
for the first down.
This is a lot of what we saw at the end of the first quarter, beginning of the second, whenever they're having so much success driving the ball down the field, was giving Beeman the option. Do you hand the ball off? Do you pitch the ball? Like right there, man in motion, he had the option of pitching in a jet sweep, but elected to keep the ball and picked up about 7 yards. He only needed 3 for the first down, so a good decision by Beeman on that. It's the quarterback elected to keep the ball himself.
Break huddle with same formation, number 1.
7 seconds left on the play clock.
Burnside wide left and Grady wide right.
Get the snap with 2 seconds left.
Chancellor with a handoff, go up the middle, and
man, he picked up maybe 2. They were right there waiting on it.
Not many times where you're going to run in the vicinity of Eli Bates, Chris Griffith, Mon Cole, and Jordan Gowdy.
So you don't make that run and live to tell about it,
right?
Huh?
Chancellor Greer on the carry, good for about a yard before he went.
Peyton Coleman down in there as well.
Between 2nd and 9. All right, have you noticed? I don't remember seeing this in the first half. Beeman actually running to the sideline to get the play. You know, they were signaling it in, sending it in, but right now he's running back and forth through the sideline.
Well, you know, there was quite a bit of confusion on a few of those plays in the first
5
half.
seconds on the play clock.
Burnside going in motion. Chancellor Greer gets the handoff, and Chancellor, wow, he was able to stay on his feet and get
He flew into that hole.
He may be a little bit shy of a first down, though. It's going to bring up 3rd down and short.
He hit that hole quick. I was a little impressed by that. But you're right. That was an 8-yard run on a 2nd down and 9, so it's going to bring up 3rd and 1 for the Tornadoes on the West Lauderdale Knight 29-yard line.
Tornadoes will bunch up the receivers on the right-hand side of the line. Greer is to the right as well as Marcus Beeman. Beeman will pull it back and keep it himself and go to that right side. He's got a first down. He'll go out of bounds around the 23-yard line. 5:34 remains in the 3rd quarter. Knights had a 27-6 lead going into halftime, coming out of halftime, and it will only take them 1:22 to put another touchdown on the board, 34-6 as we look at our Premier Paint and Body scoreboard. But the Philadelphia Tornadoes are on the move.
Coming up on the line with 10 seconds left in the play clock.
Marcus Beeman will hand it off to Greer. Greer gets a 4-yard pickup. He gets hit hard by Jordan Gowdy.
He got spun around there.
It ain't going to take too many of them hits to be like, I don't know if I want to go back that. Can we go to the other side?
Good for about 4 yards before he stopped by Jordan Nix.
We got 2nd down, 7 to go. As once again the ball is spotted at the 21. First down to make would be the 14. I'll move those 2 receivers to the left-hand side for Marcus Beeman. Looks like a double tight end set for the Tornadoes.
Beeman keeps it. Put it back to the original line of scrimmage. So that's going to be about a second. That's a loss of 4 on that. It's going to make up 3rd and 10.
Carson Smith coming up big with a tackle for loss.
All the way back to the 25. 3rd and 10 for the Tornadoes.
Big play for your Knights there, because what we were seeing was them having success picking up 3, 4, 5 yards to carry. And now they've got to, again, 3rd and 10. Now, obviously, you're in 4-down territory. You don't even consider bringing the punter or the field goal kicker out on this. But so you've got 2 plays to pick up 10 yards. But, again, that's going to bring up chunk plays.
3rd down 10 for the Tornadoes. 2 receivers left.
Low snap. It's on the ground.
And he gets
How
away.
did he escape from that?
So is there a late flag?
Did the ball come out?
Takes the ball down inside the 20
I thought I saw some laundry on the field, but there was something that flew across.
I think you saw part of Beeman go flying.
4th down and 5.
What we were talking about, low snap, the ball spent about a second and a half, 2 seconds on the ground.
Well, what that allowed was a lot of people were going after where the ball was, and Beeman
was able to pick it up and get around and pick up 5 yards. So, 4th and 5 here. But kind of like we were talking about, I mean, there was no indication, no inclination that a kicker was coming out right at this point. I mean, you've got to have touchdowns throughout the rest of the game.
Yards to make is the 14. Ball is at the 19. Beeman trying to do a hard count. Timeout, Philadelphia.
Ooh. Man, again, we saw this in the first half, burning timeouts when you didn't necessarily have to.
This is a 7+ minute drive for the Philadelphia Tornadoes. If this does not go for a score, you've just wasted 7 minutes off the clock.
All right, well, hey, let me ask you this. Let's say they're able to punch it in within the next few plays.
September 27th.
I mean, are you at a place where you've already got to start thinking onside kicks?
Yes, I do think so. I mean, if this drive took 7 minutes.
If you're not willing to come off your offensive strategy to where you're just going to run the ball for 3, 4, 5 yards, you cannot give up any possessions. You've got to have the ball more than that, because other than the turnover on downs, the punter hadn't come on the field for West Lauderdale.
Right.
So you've had 0 success in stopping this offense. West Lauderdale had the ball once in the second half, and it took them 1 minute and 22 seconds to put the ball in the end zone.
All right. 28, the volleyball team will
timeout is officially over. West Lauderdale defense ready for the snap. Philadelphia offense is running back onto the field, getting ready to get under center. Referee has wound the clock. Play clock is ticking. 3 minutes and 23 seconds left in the third quarter.
Same formation for the Tornadoes. 2 receivers left. Double tight end set for the Tornadoes. And Beeman looks to pass. Going to be a
swing pass
to
the
Chancellor Greer is your receiver there coming out of the backfield.
Needed 5, picked up 7 or 9. So that's going to be a first down to the Knight 11-yard line.
Chancellor Greer takes the ball down.
Give up these 4 or 5 yards just to take the clock down, right?
I was going to say you never want to say a defensive stand that ends in a touchdown that's a successful stand, but you're giving up 9 minutes of game time.
Yeah. 2 receivers each side of the field now for the Tornadoes. Spreading them out thin for the Knights defense, and Greer will get the handoff, and nothing there. About maybe a yard.
Yeah, they're going to mark him down at the 9, 8.
9-yard line.
Yeah, so they had him at the originally line scrimmage was the 11, so that's going to be a gain of 2. Going to bring up second down and 8.
Now officially an 8-minute drive for the Tornadoes. 34-6.
Yeah, they started this drive at 10:38, I believe, and we're down to 2:24, 2:23. So yeah, over 8 minutes on this drive.
And they'll break huddle with the same formation with 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Beeman in shotgun, Greer to his left. Second down and 8 to go. Going to look to pass to the left, and incomplete pass. That was, got there a little quicker than what number 4 believed it should have. Andrew Carter was the intended receiver.
Yeah, there was no receiver or defensive back that even had their head turned by the time the ball was on the ground in the back of the end zone.
So that'll stop the clock with 2 minutes and 5 seconds remaining in the third quarter. This quarter has just raced by.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that helps when you have a team that's driving it for 8 minutes.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's the first pass in the second half.
You may be correct.
I don't remember another one, but anyway.
No, we just had the pass to get the first down.
That's right. Yeah, the swing pass to the receiver. You're correct.
3 receivers to the right, 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Greer with the handoff, and he will not get much, maybe a yard. It'll bring up it'll bring up 4th down. And 7?
Yeah, 4th down and 7 from the 8-yard line, I believe.
How about this? If the Knights can put up a stand right here with just less than 2 minutes to go.
How disheartening would that be? You drive, 80, 70 yards, something like that, I believe.
Drive began at the 35-yard
yeah.
line. Do the onside kick, or not the onside kick, but the kick out of the bounds.
Yeah, so you would give up about 60 yards over 9 minutes and no points.
Now a 9-minute drive. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. You gotta look out number 4 here.
You got to think the ball's going in the air. Yeah, he
drops
drops back to pass.
Directly at him, and he's flush in the pocket, still looking, got a receiver, and complete pass. There is a flag at the goal line, but usually in this vicinity, I say usually. I'm not gonna say anything, right? This may be coming back. The Tornadoes believe it's coming back.
Yeah, the Tornadoes are already marching backwards.
And it was a complete pass to number 4, as I was believing, Andrew Carter. But Tornadoes do not believe that this one's going to count. What do we have here?
They're calling an illegal man downfield, yeah. So that's going to be a 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
You can go 5 yards, right?
Do it?
You can go 5 yards, right?
No, it's only on like 2 or 3.
2 or 3.
Yeah.
So they were on like 7.
Yeah, so you had an offensive lineman that looked like got a little bit too antsy, got downfield.
Well,
the flag was dropped.
At one point, the quarterback did look like he was going to pull it down.
Yeah, he scrambled like he was going to run.
Excuse me.
But the flag was dropped somewhere around the 2-yard line, 1-yard line. So if that's an indicator, he was 5-6 yards downfield.
4th down, 12 to go. Beeman looking left.
Being flushed
left.
Again.
Got a man
wide open. That's Andrew Carter.
Once again, the guy that I was expecting to get if he's going to throw the football.
He has caught 2 consecutive passes in the end zone.
One of them's counted.
Yep.
So officially, that is a 9.5-minute drive.
65 yards with a 12-yard touchdown pass to cap it off.
Guarantee you they will be going for 2 here. First extra point attempt hit the left upright. So They go for 2 here to try to make it a 20-point ball game. 1:07 once again remaining in the third quarter. The Knights lead 34-12. Awaiting this extra point attempt. Lines up with 1 receiver on each side of the field for Beeman. Chancellor Greer gets the handoff, and he's going to be in there. So it is a 20-point ball game in favor of the Knights as we look at the Premier Paint and Body scoreboard on a 12-yard touchdown pass from Beeman to Andrew Carter. We'll be back on Q101.
Collinsville, Mr. Discount Drugs, your local pharmacy and gift shop.
West Lauderdale football is on Q101 WJDQ Meridian.
Once again, following a 12-yard touchdown pass from Marcus Beeman to Andrew Carter, number 4 for the Tornadoes. The Tornadoes have eaten into the Knights' lead, 14-34. The Knights once again came out of halftime with a 27-6 lead. Got on the board quick with a 50-yard touchdown run by J.J. Grant. With 10 minutes and 38 seconds left in the third quarter, though, the Tornadoes took off quite a bit of clock.
That they did, like we've already talked about, over a 9-minute drive. And you know, if you're West Lauderdale, if you're Coach Brock over there, and again, you're never excited to give up a touchdown, but you're willing to trade 9 minutes for 7 points, 8 points any day of the week when you've got a 28-point lead.
Are you expecting onside here?
Maybe? Nope. I'm going to say end over end kick taken at the 20-yard line.
Up to the 25, up to the 30. 30, did his knee go down?
I couldn't quite tell, but I'm thinking that's probably the right call. So they're going to mark him down at the 32-yard line, 33-yard line, which is where the Knights will take over on their own 33.
J.J. Grant in that huddle? No, Caleb Collins. Backup quarterback Ridge Brown.
You asked me the question, and it's hard to say yes to go for an onside kick out of necessity when you're still in the third quarter, but you've got to make up some ground.
Caleb Collins with the handoff to that far side, and Caleb Collins off to the races to 45 out of bounds near midfield.
Strong run by Collins, able to pick up, able to give J.J. Grant a little bit of a breather after his impressive game that he's had so far. And man, there is no drop in productivity when you bring in your seconds. I'm going to say second 1A and 1B maybe.
Quarterback is back up as well. Ridge Brown in there as a freshman quarterback. Ridge, handoff once again to Collins. Collins with another carry to
midfield.
Looked like he crossed midfield.
It did, but the referee took a step back and spotted him right on the 50-yard line. So that's going to bring up 2nd and 8, 7.5, long 7 maybe.
I know stat guys would love to see Grant get that 1,000 yards in this game, but don't know if that's going to happen tonight. 2nd down and 8. Looking to pass is Brown. Gets the connection to Wyatt Castle. Castle into Tornado territory. Out of bounds at the 45. He's going to be about 3 yards shy of a first down.
It's going to make it 3rd and 3 on the 45-yard line of the Tornadoes.
I
don't know if you noticed the chain guys were already moving, anticipating a first down already, but still got 3rd and 2, something like that.
I think it's officially 3rd and 3. Is actually about 2.5. Collins with the carry.
No, we're going to call it a first down.
35,
call it
30.
Maybe
he may take it to the house, to the 20, the 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, West Lauderdale. Caleb Collins with a 45-yard touchdown run. I'll tell you what, Caleb Collins is going to go to the sideline. He's like, hey, you get a 50, I get a 45.
Yeah. He's saying, I bet I get 1,000 before you do is what he's saying. Strong run right there. Able to cut back cross field and take it to the house.
And for the 3rd straight. You want to test me, huh?
I mean, no, now is it just?
For the 3rd straight week, Meridian 45, Southeast 49, and now Philadelphia.
You're right,
40.
you're right. I don't know why I was thinking maybe
point attempt. Snap back, hold is down, kick is up, and it is good. 41-14.
And that's how the third quarter ends right there as well.
That's right. As we look at the Premier Paint and Body scoreboard, we'll be back after this on Q101. Welcome back to the West Lauderdale Knights.
All right, so let's do some math. Quarter is 12 minutes. We had 2 drives combined, took 2 minutes and
Right at 3 minutes for the West Lauderdale Knights.
Yeah.
Scoring drive.
They had both forgotten to swap sides.
Right.
We're getting ready to kick the ball off, and both teams are lined up on the wrong side, forgetting to swap sides as we get ready to start the fourth quarter. I'm sorry, Lee, did you want to talk about the scoring drive?
Oh, I was just playing the air guitar up here.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, the Knights getting ready to kick off here to start the fourth quarter with a 41-14 lead. You got to feel comfortable with that. You got to feel great about the fact that we had a lot of second-string, younger guys, underclassmen, and were able to punch the ball in a minute and 9 seconds.
Cooper Luke, big kick, going to come down to the 20, up to the 25.
He's got the outside.
30
to 30.
35, 40. Got a convoy with him, and he may break it and take it to the house. To the 30, to the 20, out of bounds. Did we get away with a face mask there?
I don't think so. I didn't see it. But either way, took that ball, received it on the 21-yard line, took it 59 yards, finally down at the 20.
So if you need some spark, there it is. And they've had a real good return game in for this Philadelphia Tornado team.
Well, and when you're having a hard time sustaining, getting quick points, man, this is what you got to have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you looked at a 9-minute drive. Well, they only need 20 yards here.
Beeman, your quarterback. Beeman will hand off to Greer. Greer goes to that far side, but he gets eat up at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he was hit hard and went down quick at the 20-yard line. Going to bring up 2nd and 10. There was just nothing there. There was a little bit of a hole, but it was filled quick.
Once again, the Knights with 2 scores in 3 minutes, approximately.
You got to wonder why they're not putting the ball in the air more.
Beeman's got an accurate arm, as we've seen. There's only been maybe 2 throws were off the mark. One, I think, was maybe a little miscommunication. Beeman, once again, rolls to his left and gets eat up in the backfield.
That's going to be a loss of 1. It's going to bring up 3rd and 11. Again, they are not going to let him, after the success they had into the first quarter, into the second quarter, the success Philadelphia had running the ball with that read option where he had the option to hand the ball off or keep it himself, they're not going to let him beat them that way. He
just had a 13-yard touchdown pass to Andrew Carter. It was spot on.
But you got to love what we're seeing on the defensive side of the ball, the adjustments that they have made to keep this from happening.
Mm-hmm. 3rd down 11 here. 1 receiver each side of the field for Beeman.
You got to think it's being put in the air here.
Moving Grady in motion. Rolling out to his right. Gowdy almost has a quarterback and overshoots his intended receiver.
Beeman got hit hard. Did you see that?
Gowdy helps him up.
And let me make sure I emphasize this. Clean hit.
Yes.
It was not a late hit, but Beeman definitely felt that one. And
yes, he's still
yeah, he's hurting right now. But what that did was that forced the high pass to an open, I think it was Chancellor Greer that had dropped into the receiver role, and he was open. But because of the pressure, it forced an overthrow. Now you got 4th and 11.
I cannot. If you've listened to the games, thank you. But if you've not been able to see and witness this defense, and I'm not going to, I don't want to highlight just one player, But Jordan Gowdy, just I don't know what you call it, but next level. I know
as a unit, these guys do a great job getting off blocks and putting pressure on the quarterback. These quarterbacks know. I mean, at this point in the season, you've got enough game film as a quarterback, as an offensive coordinator, to know that you just do not have the time to get back, to plant your feet, and to have – you don't have time to go through your checkdowns. You've got one, maybe two,
And that's the reason I don't know if high school plays are designed for checkdowns as much as we might believe.
Well, you've got one there. What we just saw on that 3rd and 11. I mean, but that's what happened. He had his initial receiver that he was looking at. He was covered, and he did not have time to work down through other receivers. He immediately dropped down to the the running back that was 4 yards in front of him. But like I said, as a unit, these guys, especially your front four, your linebacker, they do such a great job getting off of these pass blocks, putting themselves in a position.
4th down and 11 for the Tornadoes. Beeman looking over the defense, looking and throwing left. He's got a receiver, and does he make the connection? Yes, he does. That will be another pass completion for a touchdown for Marcus Beeman, this time to D. Burnside. That is a 21-yard touchdown pass. There is a flag to that far side, but I think this one's going to stand as everybody's going toward.
Yeah, it looks like it's in the place of pass interference against the Knights. Curious to see how this holds.
Which would just be declined, I would believe. I don't believe that would hold off until.
No. That's either accept or decline.
I think we're seeing our first cramp of the evening, at least for the Knights. One of our defenders making his way to the sideline. Hopefully that's all it is. There's pass interference.
Yeah.
I think the ref had to remember what the call was. He made a few calls there until he finally made a pass interference call.
Yep, pass interference against the defense.
It is a touchdown. So Knights 41, Philadelphia 20.
The referee's pointing back, almost like he's indicating that that's going to be marked off on the kickoff. And if he does it, that's not correct. But they're going for two here. Apparently they've lost their confidence in the kicker after that one bounced off the upright.
It was good on the last attempt. 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. Last time Chancellor Greer was the recipient of the 2-point conversion. Beeman will look to pass this time, and that is intercepted by the Knights, Dylan Brown. So it'll be no good.
So
the Knights will hold a 21-point advantage. Once again, as we look at the Premier Paint and Body scoreboard, 41-20 in favor of the Knights. We'll be back on Q101.
That was a little trigger happy there. Sorry, y'all.
After a 21-yard touchdown pass from Marcus Beeman to number 1, D. Burnside, it has been a scoring fest here in the second half, has it not?
It has been. No punts, no turnovers. You've got 2 passing touchdowns for the Tornadoes. So they are marking off a pass interference on the kickoff.
To pull out the high school football rule book.
Yeah, okay.
Undoubtedly it is correct, because you would see the Knights coaches be in an uproar. But you think onside kick here?
Yeah, you have to. I mean, there is no question about that.
Nope.
Never mind.
Go straight in the end zone
for a touchback. All right, so why do you not try an onside kick there?
I'm not sure.
Because you're kicking off from the 45-yard line. It has to go 10 yards. Worst case scenario is you do not get the ball and the Knights take over the 35. Best case scenario is you get the ball back. Now, because you kicked it into the end zone, the Knights
you scored twice.
you're looking at a 10-yard difference between an onside kick and kicking the ball deep.
You got to have some confidence if you're on the offensive side of the ball for the Tornadoes.
What that says to me is Coach Fry, the Tornadoes, are saying, you know what, we'll see y'all next year. You know, we're conceding this game. We're going to play for next week.
Last drive had quite a few first-string offensive linemen in the game. Hey, look at J.J. Grant. J.J. to the 30, to the 35, 40. He's got 1,000, 50, midfield, 40, 30, 25, 20. Out of bounds, still in bounds, actually, to the 15-yard line.
They're going to mark him down about the 10-yard line.
He says, I don't want 1,000. I want 1,100 in this game.
I mean, yeah, that was, what, a 64-yard run, I believe?
Man.
74? How long was that? You're on the 25.
At the 25.
Yeah, 54-yard run right there.
With the long
64. I don't know. My math is terrible. It was a long run for J.J. Grant.
64-yard run.
Okay, so, yeah.
Parker rolls out to his left, got a receiver, and that is Hunter Moore.
A little bit of a high pass. It was catchable, but it had been a difficult pass. Either way, it's going to bring up 2nd and 10 for the Knights at the 16-yard line.
JJ is close to, if not already surpassed, 300 yards in this football game.
Yeah, if you'll stick around for the post-game show that will take place in about 9 minutes and 48 seconds of game time, we'll give you the final statistics.
JJ
Handoff to Grant.
Near the 10-yard line.
Yeah, they're going to mark him down about the 11, so that's going to be a gain of 5.
On the carry. And Black makes the tackle for Philadelphia.
Quick scores by the Knights. Had a minute and 22.
Oh,
that's going to be some early movement.
Yeah.
By at least one person down there in the black jersey.
Yeah, they're going to mark him ahead 5 yards, and that's going to put them really close to the first down if that doesn't put them across the line. But yeah, defensive lineman got a little bit antsy. I don't know if he was trying to time the snap, but he fired out hard into the left tackle for your West Lauderdale Knights, and that's going to bring up a 5-yard penalty. I think they're going to be just shy.
Tornadoes.
2 receivers to the left for Parker.
No, that will result in a first down. First and goal from the 7.
Parker will hand off jet sweep to Wyatt Castle. Wyatt
makes a man miss, and he is in the end zone.
J.J. Grant into the end zone.
7-yard touchdown run from Wyatt Castle. Jet sweep.
Pardon me. Wyatt Castle on the carry.
9:14 remains. That's 3 scores for the Knights, 2 for the Tornadoes, and we still have 9 minutes left and 9:14 remaining in the game. Knights are missing a man on that.
He's coming in quick though. I guess when you score that fast, if you're on the field goal team, sometimes you don't forget about it.
There's a kick. Cooper Luke is perfect on the night. 48-20. 9:14 remains in the football game. As we look at the Premier Paint and Body scoreboard, this is West Lauderdale football on Q101.
Friday nights under the lights with the Knights are here on Q101.
Well, the Knights racking up some yards in this second half.
Absolutely, they are. They have had a lot of success all night, but especially in the second half on the ground, moving the ball. Collins, Grant, and then just a jet sweep. Wyatt was able to punch it in. Just success all over the field on the offensive side of the ball and defensive, really. But as it sits, the Knights have a 28-point lead with 9 minutes and 14 seconds left in the fourth quarter, getting ready to kick the ball off. Teeing it off, Cooper Luke getting ready to kick the ball off.
I think the announcer said Cooper Luke, but I believe Cooper just tagged in his partner, and Yannick Rooch.
There we go.
Come down around the 30.
That
is
is Andrew Carter.
And Andrew
I think he may have lost a yard or two.
Received the ball around the 30, ends up getting tackled around the 29, but he looked a little slow as he was running the football to this near side. I don't know if he came down earlier, maybe during that touchdown reception.
All right, so you got to do me a favor next week during the coaches meeting. Right. We got to make sure we're pronouncing his name right. Yannick Rooch. Rook.
It's spelled R-U-C-H. If it was an I in there instead of the U, it'd be Rich, right?
It would be.
Okay. Just replacing the I with a U.
If only the English language was that simple.
Yeah, I know that. Psalms.
There you go. That being said, Tornadoes get ready to start the drive.
All right. Beeman hands off to Chancellor Greer. Greer.
It's going to be out close to a first down. I think they're going to mark him
about
just
3 yards shy. Just under 9 minutes to play.
As we sit on top of the press box on this home side of the stadium, looking out on the field, looking at the West Lauderdale stands, man, I've been impressed this year. You know, home, away, doesn't matter. This team is supported by their fans, and I love to see that.
The entire sports there at West Lauderdale. I mean, going to the baseball games during the spring and summer is, I'm just a few feet away from Jason Smith up here on top of the press box. It's amazing to hear the fans get behind. You need to come to our baseball game. I can tell you that. Beeman looking left, throwing deep. He's got a receiver. Open. It is picked off.
Oh, my
taken away. Number 15 for the
interception.
Night. Landon Bond.
He was running step for step with him the whole way. He did not turn around until the last second. Did not get his head around until the last possible moment. And as soon as he turns around, he sees the ball there, reaches out, takes it of the receiver. But you've got to do that. As a Tornado fan, if you're listening on Q101, you've got you can't put the blame on the coach or the quarterback. You're down big in the fourth quarter. You've got to score quick.
But how about it looked to be a little separation there at the end, and then Landon just closed in.
He closed the gap quickly.
Ridge Brown once again checks back into the game, and I believe that may be Hayes Nance.
31?
That's Hayes Nance with the run there. Hayes Nance is a hard runner. Once again, the score is 48-20 in favor of the Knights. Just under 8 minutes left to play. Knights have intercepted the Tornadoes twice tonight. Second down, 9 to go. Ridge Brown, quarterback, number 13, freshman quarterback. Jet sweep action here.
Cut back inside is going to pick up good yardage on that. They're going to have him down at the 34-yard line.
That is Hunter Fuller.
Bring up 3rd and 3 for the Knights.
Jet sweep from the receiver position. Steam before he receives that football. Really helps if you're fast.
Yeah, now that it does. So you love to be able to see this, getting a lot of these young guys, underclassmen in.
3rd down and 3, and the Knights will hand it off to Hayes Nansen.
Second effort. I think that's going to put him over the line. He was hit with about 2 yards shy and hit by more than one guy, but he was able to fight and fall forward. They're moving the chains. What else is talking about? You love seeing some of these young guys in. Some of these guys getting some meaningful snaps.
We talked about that during the coaches show, how this you're playing right now a second stringer against a starter. Ridge Brown looks right, throws right, got us a receiver. That's Antonio Brown, and Brown
makes a man miss.
Right.
Again, going to be out. I think he's just shy of the yard to gain. They're going to mark him.
Ratcliffe. I'm sorry, I was thinking of Antonio Brown.
A little bit different there as he's playing wide out for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it's going to make it 2nd down and 1 after a good pitch and catch there by your Knights.
Ridge Brown once again shotgun formation. Hayes Nance to his right. He'll get the handoff.
Oh, he's got room.
Hayes Nance, get the first down into Tornado territory, all the way down inside the 40.
So they're on he's number 18, defensive back, set up on the 40, ready to make the tackle.
He's right there.
And let's be honest, he could have gone left or right and run around it.
Right.
He says, no, I'm running through him. Gotta love it.
Heat timeout for the, I believe he said heat time, maybe Knights timeout. We're going to step aside as well. 6 minutes and 3 seconds remaining in the football game. Knights 48, the Philadelphia Tornadoes 20. As we look at the Premier Paint and Body scoreboard, we'll be back after 30 seconds on Q101.
For West Lauderdale Night Football.
It is 6 minutes, 3 seconds remaining in the football game. What you looking at? Clint trying to tell me how to do my job over here.
Well,
First down and 10 for the Knights on the Tornado 40-yard line. And that is Hunter Fuller with the jet sweep to that opposite side of the field.
I think this one's
probably
going to come back.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely looked like maybe a motion waiting to get the sign. The run would have been for a first down on the jet sweep, but that's definitely going to be coming back.
Looks like a first down, but
Yeah, illegal motion, illegal shift.
That'd be something for, I mean, you had a
But this is
score
what happens.
already.
This is what happens when you have a lot of freshmen and sophomores
Yeah.
on the field. You know, they're going to get a little antsy. They're going to move too quick. You're going to have two guys in motion instead of just one. So now we've got 1st and 15 from the Tornado 45-yard line.
Ridge Brown, quarterback, shotgun. He'll hand it off to Hayes Nance. Hayes goes to that far side. Hayes will pick up those 5 yards back to bring up second down. Actually, he'll be a yard shy of the original line of scrimmage. Second down, 11.
runs into Jadarius Stevens.
Clock running, going to be down inside of right around 5 minutes probably whenever we snap the ball again.
These are meaningful snaps for a freshman sophomore.
Absolutely.
You've already said it.
Normally, whenever you get these second string, third string in, you know,
you're on the opposite side.
Either that or you snap the ball, you run one play, and the clock runs out. Like,
Right.
there's nothing that can happen. You know, you've got time to establish a drive here.
Second 11. Brown looks right, throws right, got his receiver in stride. That's Radcliffe.
He's able to make a man miss. He is
20,
fast.
15, 10, 5, and
that's touchdown.
West Lauderdale.
There it is. Hits the man in stride on the crossing pattern. Receiver makes one man miss and then races everybody to the end zone for a touchdown. And if I'm not mistaken, we have just surpassed 50 points on the night.
It's a 41-yard touchdown pass from Rich Brown to Antonio Radcliffe. I'll get your name right, buddy. Cooper Luke checks back in the game for the extra point attempt, and he stays perfect on the night. 55-20 in favor of the Knights as we look at the Premier Paint and Body scoreboard. We'll be back on Q101.
For West Lauderdale 20 for Philadelphia.
This is West Lauderdale football on Q101.
Well, for the second straight week, the Philadelphia Tornadoes has given up 50-plus points. Last week gave up 57 points to Winona. This week, the Knights have come in, still got 4 minutes and 46 seconds, but put up 55. Winona's got maybe the top running back in the state. J.J. Grant came in here tonight and said, let me have my hand at it.
One of those anything you can do, I can do better mentalities. But, I mean, the best part about it, you know, the last two scores I know of, as you kick off, it's going to be taken. Oh, hit and bounce.
Oh, and the West Lauderdale
down.
recover the football and kickoff return.
That was an end-over-end kick that when it hit the ground about the 22-yard line, took a weird bounce, unable to be corralled in by the Tornadoes, and West Lauderdale jumps on it. So they've got the ball 1st and 10 at the Tornado 23.5-yard line.
Brown, credit Dylan Brown.
Dylan Brown has had one heck of a football game.
So your offense, they were grabbing a water bottle. They were sitting on the sideline,
probably looking
excited about what they've done,
looking at a replay.
and now they're thinking, okay, let's go for 60.
I really can't. Maybe I know Greg is listening back at home and trying to do stats, but Greg, maybe you can find out the last time the Knights scored 60. I can't. I really can't. I've been 18 years now doing West Lauderdale football games. I don't believe during that time span. Maybe it has happened.
But how big is this, man?
Hayes Nance with the carry. Hayes gets up to that line, gets a couple of hard-earned yards.
I think they're going to mark him down about the 20. Right around the 20. But anyway, so you've got two schools separated by what, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that?
Yep.
From Collinsville to Philadelphia. You've got one school that has absolutely owned the other on the scoreboard, on the statistics columns.
Tim McDonald was the ball carrier on that, and he's got on this play, gets up to the 19-yard line, 18-yard line maybe. Going to be a third down, long 5. Third down, 5 to go.
But Philadelphia, like I said, they've absolutely owned West Lauderdale for the last forever.
In football.
In football, yeah. And now we've got this team that you were talking about yesterday. Didn't even realize they were had never defeated this team, and man, they stepped up to the plate tonight.
Ridge Brown quarterback, Tim McDonald is running back to his left, and McDonald gets the carry, and McDonald trying to get those extra yards, and this may be coming back. There's a flag that comes in. Initially, he is down at the 15-yard line, but this may be coming back.
Yeah, and what we're seeing here is Philadelphia knows exactly what West Lauderdale is going to do. I mean, we're not pretending we're passing the ball here. So they're stacking 8-9 guys in the box here, and you're having a hard time finding that open lane.
Flag on the play.
Actually, the Knights, I'm not sure if they believe it is coming back.
Waiting on the referee to give the signal. No, they're marching
against,
it off.
Against Philadelphia.
Yeah, maybe face mask, personal foul. So they're marking that ball down